It's midweek baseball in downtown Ann Arbor. Welcome, everyone. Jake Singer with you alongside Noelle, Bencie, my good friend and partner. So glad to have you all along as we get you ready for a non-conference midweek game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Eastern Michigan Eagles right here on WCBN Sports. A few days after a big series win against the Maryland Terrapins last weekend. They also won another series against Penn State. The Wolverines are looking to follow it up against the in-state rival Eastern Michigan Eagles. The senior Chase Allen gets the ball from Michigan today against Drew Jones for the Eagles. This past weekend, the Wolverines showed a statement win in a series that was really big to continue the momentum they have early on in Big Ten play. They played a lot of very difficult opponents this season, but so far, notching series wins against Penn State and Maryland definitely has been really good for the Wolverines this season.
Jake, it's good to be here. Baseball is exceptional time of year, especially for a team here in Ann Arbor. But, as you were saying, going into this game, we saw that the Wolverines won against the Terrapins, as you were saying, on Sunday with a 9-4 victory, actually improving their record in Big Ten play to 2-0. A couple things from that game that stood out a little bit were Mitch Voigt recorded 2 home run at the plate and a victory on the mound going 7 innings, as well as Mac Timbrook recorded 3 RBIs to deep right center field, his second home run of the season. So we're going to see a little bit of that again today, going back to Ann Arbor for their second time facing each other this season.
Correct. And looking at the pitching matchup today, the Wolverines are throwing out Chase Allen, who has been a starter and a relief pitcher for the Wolverines over the course of his career. He is a senior now for Michigan. Noelle, what can we expect to see from Chase Allen today?
Well, he appeared against Eastern when they played earlier this year. He has one and 2 innings, giving up 5 hits, 5 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts in the loss. So we're going to see him come out today and hopefully give his best for our neighbors here against Eastern.
Correct. Well, on the other side of things, the Wolverines will be facing up against Drew Jones for the Eagles. The transfer from Ohio State has appeared in 6 games with 2 starts this season, posting a 9.64 ERA, giving up 10 earned runs, 11 walks, and 7 strikeouts. He is the Eagles' version of Mitch Voigt, and he's also going to be the leadoff batter for the Eagles today. Quickly going through the lineup for the Eagles, Drew Jones leads off. Blake McCray is in the second spot. Lucas Johnson in the 3-hole. Corey Taylor with the number 4 spot. Gianno Zuccaro is number 5. Logan Hugo 6. Aiden Arbogast 7. Glenn Miller 8. And Cooper Vance number 9 as Chase Allen gets us underway here with the first pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner, and we're underway here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Chase Allen has always had an up-and-down career with the Wolverines this season, trying to rewrite it today as Jones fouls off the second pitch from Allen out of play. 0-2, the count now to him. Chase Allen did appear against the Eagles previously in their one appearance prior to this matchup. Here's a third pitch from Allen. It's high, ball 1. Allen went an inning and 2/3, give up 5 hits and 5 runs. Definitely not one of his best starts of this season in that loss. Eastern Michigan did win 14-4 in that one. Here's the pitch from Allen, and it's a strike 3, swing and a miss by Jones. So Chase Allen getting a quick strikeout here early on this Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, that posts Chase Allen up to 50 strikeouts this season. 5-3 record, so he's definitely doing his job there, pitcher, and going to see this next one come underway.
Blake McCray stands in now. The senior's batting .352. He started in all 25 games this season for Eastern Michigan. One of the few players on this team that started every single game. So the first pitch is inside for a strike. McCray will get to start at right field today for the Eagles, and I'll go through that a little bit later once the Eagles are in the field. 0 on the count now to McCray. Here's the pitch from Allen. It's a little low and outside, breaking ball there. 1-1 is the count. Chase Allen steps back on the mound now. 23.2 innings pitched this season. Here's the pitch. It's a little high, ball 2. He's only made one appearance that he did not give up an earned run, and that was all the way back at the beginning of the season on February 18th against Western Michigan. We're in 5 scoreless innings. Here's the next pitch, and it hits McCray right in the leg. McCray runs very quickly to first base on the hit by pitch, and following up a strikeout for Chase Allen, he quickly sends the runner to first and has 1 runner on and 1 out here for the number 3 batter, the catcher, Lucas Johnson. Johnson, the junior, batting .269 this year. He's made 19 starts and 21 games played. And Johnson will look to send one of his teammates quickly over with only just 1 out. First pitch is fouled off behind him. 0-1 the count. See what Chase Allen does with the runner on base. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a strike. 0-2 quickly ahead on Lucas Johnson. Johnson from Hamilton, Ontario.
Junior coming in with a batting average of .269. A little bit lower for college ball, but
Here's the pitch to Johnson. It goes up the middle, possible double play opportunity, but the shortstop for the Wolverines, Kyle Dernetti, could not handle it. It goes out of his glove, and Johnson reaches safely at first. Let's see what they call it. They're going to call that one a hit, so it's not going to be an error on Dernetti. Wolverines, one of the best in the country at double play balls, but unfortunately for the Wolverines, Dernetti could not handle that one. And the Eagles have 2 runners on and just 1 out, with the cleanup batter, Corey Taylor, stepping up to the plate.
yep, this was Johnson's first year on Eastern's team. They recruited him last season from Wright State, where he played 10 total games, making 1 start, and in the 2023 season singled at number 8 against Kansas for his first career.
Corey Taylor, the second baseman, now up. Both runners run, and the batter swings, and they'll both be in there safely. Brock Lightgeb getting the start here at catcher. He's made 11 starts this year, but the double steal fools him. And now Eastern will have 2 runners on in scoring position with just 1 out in the top of the first inning. Second pitch gets fouled off behind. Quickly, we have an 0-2 count on Corey Taylor. Taylor has played in every single game this season for the Eagles, making 23 starts at second base, batting .276 so far this season. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's fouled off behind him once again. Chase Allen threw 40 pitches his last time out against the Eagles, but again, can only go an inning and 2/3. These midweek games are very important for Tracy Smith and the coaching staff, trying to find the right pitcher, but also you're trying to save some arms. You had a lot of guys go this past weekend against Maryland. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's a curveball, strike 3. They said he tipped it, but it landed in the glove of the catcher. And now Chase Allen, with 2 runners in scoring position, has 2 outs and a possibility of getting out of the inning scot-free. First pitch in there by Allen is a strike. Gianno Zuccaro stepped up to the plate now. The lefty is from Ohio. Starting in left field today. He's made 23 starts and 24 appearances. Second pitch just misses the outside corner, ball 1. Your defense for the Wolverines today, Dylan Stanton gets the start in left field. A.J. Garcia in center. Stephen Harustich in right. Cole Caruso at third. Kyle Dernetti at short. Mac Timbrook at second, Colin Priest at first, as Zuccaro fouls in the next pitch off. Lightgeb gets to start at catcher, and Mitch Voigt will be DHing today for the Wolverines.
Another new recruit for Eastern. Zuccaro is coming from University of Charleston, played under head coach Robert Britt. So he's joining the team this year. Has done fairly well, and we'll see as he takes the piece.
Zuccaro up the middle, but it's fielded by Dernetti. Gets the out at first, and that will do it. And that will do it for the end of the top of the first inning. So Chase Allen, despite giving up the hit and the double steal, gets out of the inning without giving up a single run. And Drew Jones will now step up to the mound for Eastern Michigan. Your score is still 0-0 here heading into the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a little bit about Drew Jones earlier when we first started our broadcast today. We saw that actually he's coming in hot as a new recruit. He was a Buckeye actually coming in to Ann Arbor today. You have to think that there's just a tad bit of resentment as a Buckeye coming in playing for Eastern. Although a transfer, there's a little bit of that rivalry that I'm sure is still instilled in his brain when playing against Michigan.
So Drew Jones will take some warm-up pitches here. So we apologize for some technical difficulties here for my counterpart, Noelle Bencie. Apologize if you could not hear her that well. We're doing whatever we can to get that fixed. Nonetheless, just about to get underway here in the bottom of the first inning. For the Wolverines, A.J. Garcia, Mitch Voigt, and Stephen Harustich are the first three batters.
Looking at Eastern coming into Ann Arbor today, we saw that they captured their third consecutive Mid-American Conference Series win on the road. And went in today to Ann Arbor to really try to solidify that and get them in there. Get another win under their belt against the Wolverines.
So A.J. Garcia will step up to the plate now. First pitch to him. He actually takes a bunt. He might be there safely. Drew Jones quickly to first, and it's out of play. A.J. Garcia reaches safely at first with a first pitch bunt. And that will get the Wolverines cooking early on in this one. Mitch Voigt now up to the plate. Drew Jones gets ready to set. Garcia taking a big lead at first. And it hits the ground. Garcia takes off for second. It's going to be a close play. And they're calling him safe on the steal. So Garcia quickly, in two pitches, bunts for a single, and then reaches safely at second with the stolen base. Actually, now they're going to call the bunt an error on Drew Jones. So Garcia's bunt on that first pitch, they're actually going to call an error here. Nonetheless, he's quickly at second base with no outs, and Mitch Voigt up to the plate. Here's the pitch to him. He takes a big hack. That goes foul.
You know, you wonder what those errors early on, what they do for the team. You know, we thought that he came out really strong, really getting the momentum going, but taking the error, it's just deteriorates the momentum of the team.
Mitch Voigt takes the next pitch and fouls it. As they get ready here, 1-2 the count to Voigt. Here's the pitch to him. And Voigt fouls that one back once again.
The 6-foot sophomore from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, starting up once again.
1-2 pitch once again here to Voigt from Drew Jones. And he looks at that third pitch looking, so he'll go down on strikes. And it'll be the first out here in the bottom of the first inning.
We got Rostich coming in right now. He's from a Georgia native coming in from the south.
Stephen Rustich looks at the first pitch, go by him. 1-0 the count now to him. Rustich, the big power hitter for the Wolverines this season, leading the team in home runs with 9. AJ Garcia still on second. Next pitch is inside, ball 2 to him. 2-0 the count. Rustich also with a very solid batting average, now .296 this season. He's played in all 28 games, making 27 starts for the Wolverines. Next pitch hits him. Oh, that hurts. That hit him right in the back. And Rustich gingerly walks to first base. So we've already seen two hit batsmen here in the first inning. Nonetheless, he gets a free base, and he'll walk to first base, still try to shake that one off a little bit. Hopefully he is okay. And Colin Priest steps to the plate now, the cleanup batter for the Wolverines today, starting at first base. Seen a lot of first basemen like Dylan Stanton, Mitch Voigt for the Wolverines this season. Now it's Priest's turn, the freshman. First pitch to him is outside. Breaking ball does not find the strike zone. 1-0 the count now to Priest. Priest is from Mount Dora, Florida, finding his way all the way up to Ann Arbor on this cold Tuesday. Next pitch is in the dirt. So quickly look at Eastern Michigan's field today. Jonah Zuccaro in left, Logan Hugo at center, Blake McCray in right. You got Glenn Miller at third, Cooper Vance at short, Corey Taylor at second, Aiden Abagast at first, with Drew Jones pitching, Lucas Johnson behind the plate, and Drew Jones is technically the DH today since he will be pitching and hitting, as you already saw, as he led off for the Eagles in the first inning. Priest looks at a ball 3 outside, so 3-0 the count now to Priest. Priest hasn't played a ton this year. He has played in 24 games, but just making 12 starts, .286 batting average for him. No home runs so far. 4 home runs for Priest. My apologies, as he takes ball 4 in the dirt, and now the Wolverines will have bases loaded with just 1 out, and Dylan Stanton stepping up to the plate.
You're going to want to see if Stanton is able to get this hit going like that. He can get these runs in early for Michigan. They usually tend to start out pretty strong and kind of wean out later throughout the game, but we'll see if number 9 Stanton can take it home.
So Lucas Johnson quickly goes up to the mound to settle down his pitcher before Dylan Stanton steps up to the plate. Stanton seeing a bigger role for this year for the Wolverines than previous years. The senior has appeared in 19 games with 14 starts. Here's the first pitch to him, and it's inside, and it hits him on the foot, and that'll walk in the first run of the game. AJ Garcia comes home, taps the plate, And quickly, Drew Jones got into some big trouble hitting 2 batters early on, and he just walked in a run. Wolverines take an early lead, 1-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, you wonder if Eastern is going to come in and change their pitchers at the start of the second inning, with Jones having a little bit of issue, or a little bit of trouble getting his footing against Michigan today.
So bases loaded, still 1 out. Cole Caruso now steps up to the plate. The junior third baseman from Scottsdale, Arizona, has been a nice compliment for the Wolverines this year. He started in 27 of 28 games at third. The junior's batting .243.
60.
1 home run as well this year. The second pitch is down in the dirt, so 2-0 count now. Jones really struggling to find the strike zone.
We'll see if he can pick up his 17th run this season.
The 2-0 count to Cole Caruso. Here's the pitch to him, and he misses once again. Drew Jones not thrown a strike in about 8 or 9 pitches here. 4-pitch walk to Stanton. Now 3-0 count to Caruso.
Yeah, Caruso comes in second with highest hits of the season, seeing if he can come in with 27. He's leading with 26, but...
And he walks in another run, so he does notch that RBI. Caruso with a 4-pitch walk. And the Wolverines now lead 2-0 here in the first inning, as we have a mound visit early. We don't have any pitchers warming up yet in the Eastern Michigan bullpen, so probably a little too early to pull Drew Jones, but definitely back-to-back walks for runs is definitely not what you want to see if you're the pitching coach or the coaching staff in general for Eastern.
And coming into the plate now, we got number 17, Mac Timbrook, batting .250 with 21 runs this season, 24 hits, so with an RBI of 12. So he's coming in, warming up as Eastern doesn't switch pitchers, but continues to hustle out this inning with difficulty with Drew Jones.
Mac Timbrook steps up to the plate now. The graduate transfer, played 4 seasons at Kent State before he found his way to Ann Arbor. Timbrook batting .250, 26 starts in 27 games. He sees a strike go right down the middle. Strike 1. That's the first strike by Drew Jones and 3 batters. Definitely a good take there by Mac Timbrook, but definitely also a good sign if you're Drew Jones. Just trying to get a strike past the plate. Second pitch as Mac Timbrook hits one in a deep left center field. That's going all the way to the wall, and it hits the warning track. Wolverines are going to score 2, possibly 3. We see another runner coming to the plate, and the Wolverines score 3 runs here on the Mac Timbrook double. So Michigan cashing in on Drew Jones's issues early on in the first inning. Gianno Zuccaro found that ball on the warning track, quickly got it into Cooper Vance, but it was to no avail. And the Wolverines score Colin Priest, Dylan Stanton, and Cole Caruso here and increase their lead to 5-0.
Yeah, I think Michigan has definitely had the chance to capitalize on Drew Jones' issues that they've been having, but they came in today with 3 runs just in this last play. So we're going to see them come again and see if they can do one more time, or at least continue to keep their lead.
So Kyle Dernetti now steps in. Pitch is down in the dirt, 2-0 count now to him. Dernetti, another transfer for the Wolverines, been the starting shortstop for all 28 games for Michigan this season. Previously played 4 seasons at Oregon State. Third pitch is way outside, ball 3 now. last season. He played in 52 games, started in 49 for Oregon State, batted .248 with 7 doubles, 4 home runs, 26 RBIs. Season kind of right around that same range with a .253 batting average in the number 8 hole for Michigan this season. Here's the pitch to Dernetti, and he finally finds the outside corner for a strike as Drew Jones, 3-1 the count now to the shortstop.
Yeah, this inning just continues as Drew Jones tries to find those strikeouts, but we'll see if he can get that for Dernetti.
Dernetti, though, gets walked. Ball 4 to him, so he takes a base. Wolverines now have first and second with still 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. And that Mac Timbrook 3 RBI double this past weekend at 7 hits, 4 runs, and 4 RBIs, so almost matches his total RBI total in 1 at-bat. Big showing from Timbrook, and now the Wolverines have Timbrook at second, Dernetti at first, but first, before then, Drew Jones, I believe, will not even make it out of a third of an inning as Eastern Michigan will make a very early pitching change here. So stay right there as we figure out who this pitcher is coming into the game. Drew Jones, 5 earned runs, giving up just 1 hit, and that was the Timbrook double. Again, he had 2 hit batsmen, an error in the field, and a few more walks added to his total, so his ERA balloons to 13 in 25 pitches. And Drew Jones will, I believe, stay in the game batting, but you will see a pitching change right here, trying to figure out, again, what that number is for Eastern Michigan. I believe I see number 28. That's going to be Jimmy Kunst. So stay right there. We'll be right back here on WCBN Sports. So we're back here on WCBN Sports. Jake Singer alongside Noelle, Bencie. Jimmy Kunst enters the game for the Eagles. The freshman from Pennsylvania just joined the Eagles this season. He's appeared in 5 games, had 2 starts, 9.2 innings pitched. He has a very high 17.69 ERA, and that's because of the 19 earned runs he has given up so far this season. Most notably, he gave up 10 earned runs in a 3 1/3 against Morehead State on March 16th, accounting for more than half of his total earned runs this season. Most recently, though, he has a scoreless inning against Western Michigan, and he did give up 1 earned run in an inning against Central Michigan on March 29th. So Kunst enters the game, the freshman, in relief for Drew Jones, who could not see more than a single out in the first inning. So we still have 1 out, 2 runners on here. And the Wolverines will see Brock Lightgeb, the catcher, step up to the plate now.
Yeah, we'll see if Kunst can do anything differently for Eastern that Drew Jones just wasn't able to do. You know, you come out slow and it kind of creates a trajectory of the game.
Lightgeb starting 11 games this season for the Wolverines, 16 appearances, is a 1.15 ERA. Here's the first pitch to him, and he's hacking. That goes foul, out of play. 0-1 the count quickly to him.
Yeah, the freshman comes in from Portland, Oregon. He made his first debut against Western Michigan in about mid-February. So he has 1 hit and 3 RBIs in a win against Western Michigan, and that's pretty much all he's contributed this season. So we're going to see what he continues to do against Eastern today.
The catcher swings and misses for the second pitch, so 0-2 the count now to him. Here's the payoff pitch. And it bends in but just misses. Ball number 1 to Lightgeb. That looked like it was about to hit him, but it curved just in, but still 2 inside for a strike. So we got ball 1, 1-2 the count now to the catcher. Here's the pitch now, and it's low. Ball number 2.
Lightcap looks a little frustrated on the mound, or on the plate, looking to get his stats up, looking to get a first base for the team today. Get something going for him.
Lightcap, that's inside ball 3. Lightcap starting instead of Will Rogers today, the transfer from Arizona State, who's started many of the games this season at catcher for the Wolverines. Full count now. And he sees strike 3 go by him. He threw his bat thinking it was going to be ball 4, but the freshman will have to walk back to the dugout with a strikeout. So Coons comes in relief and gets a strikeout right away, keeping the runners at bay for the Wolverines. Nonetheless, Michigan will bat around the whole order. So the batting order turns over. Garcia started the bottom of the first inning with a bunt. They counted as an error on Drew Jones throwing it to first base. Scored the first run of the game. Now he's back up at the plate. Sees a curveball bend in, but too low. Ball number 1 to Garcia. Garcia, the freshman, starting in center field after a few injuries to a few center fielders for the Wolverines. Jonathan Kim, Greg Pace Jr. Tracy Smith's been trying to find that replacement at center field for those long-term injuries, and he has settled on Garcia so far.
Batting at .321. He's coming in with 9 runs and 9 hits this season, so we'll see what he can do here.
Garcia sees another ball go by him, so 3-0 the count now to the center fielder. Garcia's average is now at .310 this season. He's now started in 8 games, and he sees a 4-pitch walk. So quickly Garcia takes first base. The Wolverines have bases loaded with 2 outs, and Mitch Voigt, the DH, coming back up to the plate.
Against Maryland on Sunday, he knocked out 2 runs and 2 doubles and scored a win, actually, against that game. Made his mark on that weekend.
Mitch Voigt has been Mr. Do-It-All this season for the Wolverines. He can pitch. He plays the fields. He's played first, third, outfield. Now he's DHing today. First plate appearance was the 1 strikeout Jones had. Got caught looking, but so far he is ahead in the count, 2-0. Mitch Voigt is having a fantastic season overall, but over the last week he's batting .375 as he sees a strike go by him. He had 5 runs, 6 RBIs, leads the team in many categories, including batting average, doubles, innings pitched, and strikeouts. 2-1 the count to Voigt, and he sends one weakly down the third baseline out of play. So 2-2 now the count to the DH. Mitch Voigt pitched on Sunday against Maryland. We're at a career-high 6 strikeouts. Here's the pitch to Voigt, way outside. Full count now to him, so we'll have bases loaded, 3-2 count. Mitch Voigt at the plate. You're definitely going to see the base runners start to move, and the Wolverines, already with a 5 spot in the first inning, have an opportunity here to add to it. Here's the pitch to Voigt, and he fouls it back. Count remains full. And ball 4 is almost at his head. Mitch Voigt has to duck out of the way, and the Wolverines will walk another run in. So Michigan cashing in 6 runs here in the first inning, 3 on bases loaded with walk. And Stephen Harustich, the big power hitter, steps back up to the plate. Harustich homered over the weekend once again. He's tied for the conference lead with 9 now in the Big Ten as he takes a big hack, swing and a miss, strike 1 Harustich. 7th in the Big Ten in slugging percentage at .653, 4th in the Big Ten in walks with 25. And over the last 14 games, Rustic has raised his batting average by over 100 points as he sees a curveball bend in for a strike number 2 to him. He's now second on the team with 296 batting average. So Steven Rustic definitely having just an unbelievable season for the Wolverines. Here's the pitch to him, and he skies one into center field. Now the right fielder drifts under that one, and he makes the catch. And that'll be end of the first inning. Nonetheless, the Wolverines score 6 on a single hit, and they'll go into the top of the second with a 6-0 lead. Stay right there. We'll be right back here on WCBN Sports.
Leading off the top of the second inning for Eastern Michigan, the sixth batter, center fielder number 7, Logan Hugo.
As we're back here with WCBN Sports. Top of the second inning now, so a very long first inning, almost 35 minutes as Logan Hugo sees a first pitch by Chase Allen go by him for a strike.
Yeah, Hugo's got a batting average of 242 with 26 games played, 26 starts. So he started every single game this season.
The junior center fielder is stepping in now. He's from Michigan as well. He's going up against Chase Allen. Allen faced some trouble in the first inning, but got out of it without giving up a run. As Hugo blasts one into left field, as Dylan Stanton comes all the way back from it. Guess the wind took it right back inside, and he makes the play for out number 1 here in the top of the second.
Yeah, Hugo attempted to take double there, but was unfortunately out very quickly in the start of this second inning.
So Aiden Arbogast steps in now, the junior first baseman from Livonia, Michigan.
Yeah, he's coming in with a batting average of 412.
First pitch inside, ball 1 to him.
Notably high for Eastern. He's got the highest batting average on the team at the moment. He started 4 games of this season.
It's a pitch to him, fouls that one back, and as you said, very high batting average, but very little play so far. Only having 17 at-bats, but he does have 7 hits, and has scored 5 runs, so very limited play. He has definitely made himself very notable. As he lines one down the left field line out of play, though, into the Wolverine bullpen. 1-2 is the count now to him. Pitch from Allen. Weakly tossed back to the pitcher. And he quickly got him out at first base with enough time. Is Chase Allen going to Priest for out number 2 here in the top of the second inning.
A quick second inning for Eastern today. Less than, what would you call that, Jake? Less than 5 minutes before the second out?
Much quicker than the first, for sure, as Glenn Miller steps up to the plate. Miller, 5 sacrifice bunts this season. Again, no runners on, so right now not relevant, but in the top 15 of the country, he actually does square up to bunt, but it's too high. Miller ranks top of the MAC and inside the top 15 in the country and sacrifice bunts per game at 9th. So definitely has some speed as he sees a strike bend in middle of the plate. 1-1 the count now to Miller.
Definitely a specialty player there, Jake, as you mentioned, with as a bunt player. 61 at-bats this season.
Miller sends one all the way to the wall at right field, and it's off the wall. Stephen Rushes can't play it, and Miller slides in safely to second with a double. So Stephen Harustich trying to play the ball off the wall, jumping up, trying to save a possible home run. Does not clear the wall, but definitely takes a very favorable bounce for Eastern, and Miller has a 2-out double here in the top of the second. It's a very overcast day here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 46 degrees. It's rained off and on all day. We're expecting some rain a little bit later as well, around 6 p.m. So we'll have to see how this game plays out with weather. Last Tuesday, game had a very long rain delay as well against Michigan State as Cooper Vance steps up to the plate now, the number 9 hitter. There's a not nice baseball day in Michigan, but it's kind of what you get at this time of the year. Some days it's beautiful and 70 degrees with sun out, and today it's pretty yucky outside.
Yep.
Vance sees the ball in the dirt, 1-1 count to him.
We're looking at that later this week. It's about to be 70 and sunny this weekend, so hope for the best. It'll be 2 days then, and then back to what we got going right now.
Wolverines on the road this weekend, going to Iowa. As Vance grounds one to the third baseman, Caruso plays the ball at first. Priest makes the play at first. It was a quick questionable call there, but they call him out at first, and Wolverines get out of the second inning. Chase Allen through 2 as we head to the bottom of the second. Priest, Stanton, Caruso, and Timbrook are up next.
It looked like Eastern's coach was chirping the ref just a little bit, asking about whether that was safe or not. So we'll see how that affects this next inning, because you would think that Eastern would want as much time as they can on base. So Michigan comes in once again with a lead of 6 points to nothing, or 6 runs to nothing. So Michigan might be holding down the ground for a little bit if Eastern can keep their pitchers in line.
So they're actually going to review this really fast. Chase Allen's still back on the mound. You see Vance standing on first base. He thinks he's safe. Again, Priest, it was a little awkward catching the ball from Caruso at third. And so the Wolverine defense still out on the field right now. It appears they might think that the play will be overturned. Nonetheless, we're just going to wait for the review to occur. And there was 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning, and Vance grounded the ball out to Cole Caruso at third for the Wolverines. Colin Priest getting the start at first today. We'll have to see what the umpires decide is the call here on the field. Michigan leading 6-0, scoring 6 runs in the first inning on just 1 hit. 3 walks resulted in runners coming across the plate. And Mac Timbrook had a 3 RBI double, as they're going to call the field. They're going to call stands on the field. So they're going to say that Vance did ground out to third base. And that will be the end of the top of the second. Wolverines back up at the plate when we return here. Stay right there on WCBN Sports. back here in the bottom of the second inning on WCBN Sports. Again, my name is Jake Singer. Alongside me is my counterpart, Noelle Bencie. Colin Priest stepping up to the plate now for the Wolverines. The freshman first baseman walked in his previous plate appearance in the first inning. Came all the way around to score as the first pitch he sees is a curveball outside.
Priest right now has a batting average of .286. Has played 24 games, started 12.
Second pitch in the dirt behind the catcher, so quickly ahead 2-0 is Priest. Kuntz stays in the game for the Eagles. Third pitch to Priest, way outside, ball 3. So Wolverines have seen a lot of 3-0 counts early on in this one. We've played an inning and a half of baseball in 44 minutes, so definitely a sluggish affair. Fourth pitch to Priest, ball 4, so another 4-pitch walk that the Wolverines get to see at the plate, and Priest is on with a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the second.
That usually tends to happen on these rainy days, Jake.
Also, it is a midweek game, and if you're a manager of a college baseball team, it's a big question mark of who's going to pitch. Do you want to save some arms? Do you want to put a starter out there? Are you going to go a pitcher by committee situation going on? And if it doesn't work out, then you could be in really big trouble because you've used a lot of pitchers up in your weekend series. You have a lot of pitchers you want to use maybe on Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. And with the game being on a Tuesday, it's a little too early to use your guys for maybe Saturday and Sunday of this past weekend, but you also got to make the decision if you want to use them on Friday. So it's a really big decision if you're the manager of these teams, as Dylan Stanton's up to the plate now. First pitch was a strike, second pitch is a ball, so 1-1 the count now to Stanton. Runner on first, no out. Here's the pitch to Stanton. He takes a quick crack at it. That goes foul very early on the pitch by Kuntz. 1-2 the count now to him.
Batting .269, 8 RBIs this season.
Stanton also notably does have 6 doubles this year in 52 at-bats. Here's the pitch to Stanton. Curveball's way high. Ball 2 to him. There's been a lot of changes to Ray Fisher Stadium over the offseason. They changed the entire new scoreboard, trying to give some more information to fans and even broadcasters like ourselves. Here's the pitch to Stanton. He swings at one. That goes really high, deep left center field. Center fielder Logan Hugo is under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the second. But the one thing that I was mentioning with the scoreboard that they decided to not keep from last season is the miles per hour. So if you're a broadcaster like ourselves or you're a fan who really wants to know how hard these pitchers are throwing, we actually have no idea. And we cannot tell. We have no radar gun. We couldn't bring one ourselves. Obviously we could, but we did not. So because of that, we really just have no idea how fast these pitchers are throwing, and that's definitely one aspect of the game that we do not get, as Cole Caruso sends one down the third base line, foul.
Yep, Cole Caruso comes in starting all 27 games.
So you said Cole Caruso had a walk last inning. He also came around to score. That walk was also another RBI for him.
6 doubles this season, or actually, yeah, 6 doubles this season as well.
This Priest goes back to first on the check. Caruso, .328 on base percentage, so he's made he's been able to get on base a lot this year. Here's the pitch to him inside. Ball 1, 1-1 the count now to Caruso.
Kuntz continues on the mound, taking over for Drew Jones. Had a little bit of difficulty back in the first inning.
1-1 pitch to Caruso. He swings at it. That goes down the third baseline. That's to be fair. Priest running from first to third. Caruso going to second. And both runners will get up safely. A stand-up double for Cole Caruso, the transfer from South Carolina upstate. And the Wolverines have 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out here. And Mac Timbrook steps back up to the plate. Again, as I said, in the first inning, Wolverines scored 6 runs, 3 of which came on Timbrook's 3 RBI double. And then a few batters later, Timbrook came in to score himself. So a very productive first inning for Mac Timbrook. the senior second baseman. First pitch to him, it's high breaking ball, ball 1. Lefty has a 371 on base percentage, 763 OPS as well. Here's the pitch to him, and he lines one down the right field line. That's going to get down for a double. That's going to score 2 more. Mac Timbrook running up to second base. He's up safely. He takes a look at the third base coach, stands in there for a double, and Mac Timbrook has 5 RBIs in 2 plate appearances today for the Wolverines and will stand on second base with less than 2 outs as well here in the bottom of the second inning.
What an amazing run by Timbrook. He has really come in as a powerhouse for this game today.
Mac Timbrook accounts for 2 of the Wolverines' 3 hits as they have scored 8 runs in less than 2 innings of play. And Kyle Dernetti now steps up to the plate once again. Runner on second base is Timbrook. Here's the pitch from Kuntz, and he gets one on the end of the bat. Kuntz quickly looks at second, quickly goes to first, and Dernetti is out for the second out here in the bottom of the second inning. So a very productive out for Kuntz, trying to get himself out of the inning. Kuntz's ERA is now spiked again to 17, 35 pitches. Brock Lightgeb steps now back up to the plate. 0 for 1 in his sole plate appearance today. Here's the pitch to him. Down the middle, strike 1. Again, Lightgeb, only 27 at-bats this season. It's 3 hits, so batting just 111. Here's the pitch to him. Breaking balls inside, ball 1. Wolverines have been pouring it on Eastern Michigan. Again, their previous game against Eastern, they fell 14-4. So far, they have doubled the total run count as Lightgeb goes down the third baseline. He's going to have to hustle this one out. Bounce throw to first in time. Miller gets him out at first. And Brock Lightgeb gets thrown out for the third out of the bottom of the second. Nonetheless, Mac Timbrook having the game of his life so far, scoring 2 more and 2 RBI double, and the Wolverines lead 8-0 as we head to the top of the third inning here at WCBN Sports.
Dogs must be registered prior to the game, so head to goblue.com/tickets to register your furry friend and learn more.
Chase Allen back on the mound for the Wolverines. So we headed to the top of the third inning. Wolverines leading 8-0 on 3 hits. And it is important to note that the college baseball mercy rule is very interesting. There is no mercy rule for conference games, but since this is a non-conference game, if a team leads by 10 runs or more through 7 innings, it will be a mercy. So right now, Wolverines lead by 8 through 2. So just something to keep in mind. We will still see at least 5 more innings of play.
We'll see if Eastern can catch up here. Their 3rd try on offense today.
As Drew Jones steps back into the batter's box for his 2nd at-bat of the game. Batting lineup finally turns over here. Jones 0 for 1 on the day. Again, he was a starting pitcher for Eastern. Only made it through a 1/3 of an inning. And in his first plate appearance against Chase Allen, he did strike out. Here's the pitch to Jones. Outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count now to the leadoff man. Jones also has not played a lot this season. This is making his ninth technical start. Here's the pitch to him. So he grounds one to Dernetti at short. Easy play for him at first to Priest for out number 1 here in the top of the third.
It's a nice routine play for Michigan's defense.
Wolverines completely revamped their infield through the offseason, bringing in 3 transfers at second, short, and third, as we mentioned with Caruso, Dernetti, and Timbrook. It's been a little bit of a committee at first base between Stanton, Priest, and Voigt. First pitch bends in, curveball, strike number 1, but Wolverines have definitely stepped up their defensive play in the middle infield, as we said at the top of the broadcast. Tied second in the NCAA in double plays as Blake McCray sends one through the shortstop third base hole for a single. So Eastern Michigan notches its 3rd hit of the game, and McCray is safely at first base with 1 out.
Yeah, we saw McCray played in 31 games while starting in 23, compiling a 292 batting average, a 772 OPS as well.
Lucas Johnson, the catcher, now stands in, the number 3 hole batter for the Eagles. His first plate appearance in the first inning was a single. Got stranded on second base, though, to end the inning. Again, Eastern had runners on second and third with less than 2 outs in the first inning, and Chase Allen was able to get out of the inning without giving up a run, hence why our score is still 8-0. Lucas Johnson was one of those batters. Now his opportunity with a runner on base in McCray. 1-0 the count to him. Here's the pitch from Allen. He grounds one to Caruso. Double play opportunity to second to Kimbrook. Going to first to Priest, and the double play is successful for the Wolverines. And Chase Allen gets through 3 scoreless innings, something he has not done often this season. As I said, he's only pitched he's only had 1 appearance this season on the mound where he's finished without giving up a single run. And the last time he faced Eastern Michigan, only got through an inning and 2/3 and had given up 5 runs in that time. So through 3 here, as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, the Wolverines back up to the plate, and our score remains 8-0.
Now pitching for Eastern Michigan, number 1, Cameron McCoy.
Welcome back here to Ray Fisher Stadium as we get set for the bottom of the 3rd inning. We get a new pitcher on the mound for Eastern. It is going to be Cameron McCoy.
Yeah, McCoy made 6 appearances, 1 start this season, and relinquished 3 hits and 6 earned runs while holding opposing batters to a 231 batting average in his 4 innings of work this season.
McCoy is also a 2-sport athlete. He's also on the football team, playing quarterback.
Kind of synonymous to a player we got on Michigan's team as well.
It is. He appeared in 3 games for the Eastern Michigan football team, including his biggest game against South Alabama on December 23rd. He had 13 rushing attempts for 73 yards. He also completed 12 of 27 passes for 73 yards as well. So McCoy, a little 2-sport athlete, and you see the quarterback and pitcher on the mound, and you said it perfectly with his pitching stats this season. Just 6 appearances.
He did allow no walks or earned runs versus Evansville on February 26th. and also at Alma College when they played in April of last year.
Most recently, McCoy threw a third of an inning against Moorhead State. Again, as we had said, Kuntz had given up those 10 runs in that same game. It's definitely not a good game for Eastern Michigan all around, but McCoy in that third of an inning gave up 2 earned runs, a walk, and had a strikeout in 17 pitches. So very little stats for McCoy.
Jake, this is their third pitch that they're getting through right now. What do you think? What do you think is going through the coach's mind as they're down 8 still?
I mean, you're seeing it already with the pitching staff, right? McCoy actually, he had made 6 appearances last season. Now we're seeing the stats correctly. He's only made 1 appearance, and that was that Moorhead State appearance. So just pitching a third of an inning this season with a 54 ERA, you're just trying to get some guys in there to see what you can expect out of them as McCoy throws very hard and hits the helmet, I believe, of the home plate umpire, Sean Schaefer-Markle, for ball number 1. The quarterback and pitcher, again, I wish I could see how fast he's throwing because it definitely looks like he's in the 90s range. 1-0 the count now to A.J. Garcia, the leadoff batter. Second pitch is down and away. Ball 2. Garcia 0 for 1 on the day. He reached on a bunt error, the first pitch of the game. Some speculation of whether that would be a hit or not. They called it an error, though, as McCoy just spikes the third ball way before the plate. So definitely had a few of those in my time in high school baseball. You don't see that often, though, in college, as McCoy is just coming out with all gas, but he's not been able to find the strike zone yet. It's a 3-0 count to Garcia.
Batting a .310. So he comes up to the plate for the third time today.
3-0 pitch to Garcia, and it's ball 4. So Garcia takes first base once again. It's his 3rd time reaching first. Again, he had the error in the first inning where he reached first base. Walk as well, where he came back around in the first inning. And now he leads off with another walk here in the bottom of the 3rd. Mitch Voigt now steps up to the plate, the sophomore.
0-1 today, averaging .331 with 22 RBIs.
It's 1 walk and a strikeout as well in the first inning, and the Wolverines bat around the order in that 6-run first. Garcia on first base, 0 outs. Garcia runs, and that pitch is very wild. Johnson has to run to the backstop to get that one, and it's going to be a 1-0 count. Garcia reaches very safely on the steal. Unclear if they'll actually count that as a steal or a wild pitch, though, since Garcia was running before the pitch, but definitely going to count that as a wild pitch as well, and they're going to see Garcia advances on a wild pitch. So it will not actually count as a steal for Garcia. He already has 3 on the season. 1-0 pitch to Voigt, outside ball 2. And we were saying at the top of at the top before McCoy came up to the mound that, you know, you're down 8-0 going into the 3rd inning. You're just kind of see what kind of guys you have. McCoy definitely has gas, and he can throw very hard, but has very little control, as we've seen early on here.
Right.
As the 3rd pitch is outside ball 3. But it is a game. It's non-conference. You're down by a lot of runs. You're trying to see what you can get out of these guys, because especially with these 2-sport athletes, they have a lot of talent, and they've definitely shown athleticism, being a quarterback, being able to run. But he's a pitcher, and he obviously got recruited for a reason. So we'll see kind of what he can do here. 3-0 pitch to Voigt, and that's going to be ball 4 to Voigt. So back-to-back 4-pitch walks for McCoy as Voigt takes the free first base. Garcia standing on second as well. And Stephen Arustich, the right fielder, steps back up to the plate.
Yeah, you have to think that the bullpen can only do so much, and to get these runs in season play is important.
Before we see Arustich, going to have a meeting at the mound, and McCoy will do it for him. So does not get it out here in the bottom of the 3rd. He walks 2 batters in a row, and McCoy will sit down as we get another pitching change here. 2 runners on, no out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Wolverines still leading 8-0. The replacement will be the freshman Liam Baker for Eastern. So the tally of number of Eastern pitchers in this game today is up to 4 now. Baker, the freshman, out of Cleveland, Ohio, has only pitched in 5 1/3 innings this season. Most recently pitching a third of an inning against Central on March 28th. Baker, though, holds a 1.69 ERA, so he has been effective when he plays, but he's only pitched a high of an inning and a third against Moorhead State, that exact same series where he has given up the sole earned run in his appearances this year. Nonetheless, he has appeared in 7 games, including actually an inning pitch against Michigan back on March 19th, where he gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, and a strikeout, but he got out of the inning without giving up a single earned run. And he will face Stephen Hrustich, the big power hitter for the Wolverines, with 2 runners on and no outs. So the freshman still getting a little bit warm here for Easton, giving him plenty of time as he had to come in without getting many warm-up pitches in the bullpen. Again, McCoy, the 2-sport athlete for the Eagles, comes in, gives a back-to-back 4-pitch walk, so 8 balls, 0 strikes.
Yep, right outside the dugout we see Hrustich getting ready to get ready for at-bat. At the moment we have he's appeared in 27 of 28 of these games, and he's coming in for 9 home runs of the season. So we'll see if he can pull through and pull out another one with 2 guys on field.
Hrustich takes the first pitch, but that goes right to the second baseman for a potential double play. Gets the runner at second, but ball gets away, and they're actually going to score one at the plate. So A.J. Garcia comes in to score. There was a lot going on there. Arbogast goes to Vance for the force out at second. They try to go back to first for the double play. They cannot do so, and the ball gets away from the first baseman, which then allows A.J. Garcia to come home and score. So 1 out occurs on that play by Hrustich. Hrustich, though, with the error, moves to second base, and he does get an RBI with A.J. Garcia coming in to score. So our score now, I believe, is 9-0, but the umpires are conferring right now towards the mound. They're going to see if the ball went out of play on the error, in which case Garcia would only be able to move up 2 bases and would be stopped at third. So just waiting on the signal here from the umpires. They're going to keep, believe they're going to keep Garcia at third, but they're going to review this one first. Garcia is now standing on third base. Hrustich is standing on second. They had the force out at second with Mitch Voigt. And we're just going to stay here for just a second before Colin Priest comes up to the plate as the umpires sort this very complicated thing that we just saw in front of us out. So we're about to get the call here from the umpires. They're going to say Mitch Voigt was out at second. That for sure occurred. And it believes Garcia
The first baseman, number 26, Colin Priest.
will have crossed home plate safely. So, yes, they're going to count the Garcia run. Harush's on second base, 1 out. Colin Priest at the plate. First ball is a curveball down and inside. And they're actually going to say that hit him. So Colin Priest, or thinks he got hit. A lot happening at once here. Colin Priest throws his bat thinking that he was hit by the pitch, but they're going to say it actually did not hit him. So 1-0 is the count to Colin Priest. Wolverines now lead 9-0 in the bottom of the third inning. I know that was a lot. Thank you all listeners for staying with us here as we're just trying to figure out what has been happening in front of us with very little communication. Second pitch to Priest, inside, ball 2. The freshman first baseman had 2 plate appearances previously, both walks, and he scored on both plate appearances as well. 2-0 pitch to Priest. Check swing, but down and inside once again, ball 3. Baker on the mound again with the 1.59 ERA. The run that scored A.J. Garcia was not an earned run since it was on an error. 3-0 pitch, and he dots the outside corner for strike 1. Definitely badly needed for Baker. Still bottom of the third inning. Wolverines have 9 runs on 3 hits. 3-1 pitch, and Priest tops that one foul. Eastern Michigan has committed 2 errors on the day, and we have seen a ton of walks. Hence why we are not through 3 innings yet, and we have played an hour and 10 minutes of baseball.
Harushich continues to wait patiently on second base.
Full count for Priest, outside, ball 4. So Priest takes a free base. Harushich, as you just said, staying on second. And the Wolverines have 2 runners on with just 1 out, and Dylan Stanton, the left fielder, steps back up to the plate for Michigan.
Number 9, Dylan Stanton.
If you're just joining us, my name is Jake Singer. Alongside me, Noelle Bencie with WCBN Sports. You can also see us on Big Ten Plus right now as well. Glad to have you all along with us. This is a very misty, foggy day here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. First pitch to Stanton, way inside. He has to get out of the way. Ball 1 to him. Wolverines have been walked 9 times today already. As Stanton grounds one down the third baseline, they're going to call that one foul, though. The third baseman, Miller, was ready to step on third and go to first, so probably an unfortunate play for Eastern. Nonetheless, it's a 1-1 count to Stanton.
Yeah, Michigan continues to try to get a couple more runs in after that very tricky play that happened just a few minutes ago. Harushich stays on second. Got Priest on first, waiting for the play to continue.
Here's the pitch to Stanton, inside and down. 2-1 count to him. So saying, though, Wolverines walked 9 times. In addition to that, they've been hit by pitches twice, which has now resulted in 8 RBIs in 9 runs. They've also only struck out twice in the game today as well, so definitely a lackluster affair for the Eastern pitching staff as Stanton fouls one back and out of play.
Yep.
2-2 the count to him.
Over the weekend, Stanton came in with Maryland and went 3 for 5 with 2 runs and RBIs in victory for their Sunday play, and then recorded 2 hits with a double run and an RBI on, I believe, their Friday play.
Here's a pitch to Stanton. Breaking ball. It's too high. Full count now to him. Wolverines also have 3 extra base hits on the day, 2 of which came from Mac Timbrook, who has 5 RBIs on 2 doubles. The third was Cole Caruso with another double as both Michigan runners run, and they're going to say, I believe, a strike 3 on Stanton. Stanton was ready to throw his bat to take the base. Wolverines had a double steal going, so A strikeout still results in the Wolverines moving up 2 bases. So Harestich now moves to third, Priest moves to second, and the Wolverines have 2 outs here as Cole Caruso, who I was just mentioning, steps back up to the plate. He had a walk in the first that scored him. The second, he had a double that he also scored on. And he'll have a chance here with 2 runners in score position as he sees a curveball bend in for a strike. 0-1 count to him. So a lot happening through these first 3 innings. Score is 9-0 for a reason. Eastern Michigan already threw 4 pitchers as well. Chase Allen, though, still on the mound for the Wolverines as Caruso skies one into the parking lot of Ray Fisher Stadium out of play.
Yep,
and Baker is ahead 0-2.
The freshman continues on the mound. Like Jake mentioned before, we've seen 4 different pitchers today. We saw, starting with Drew Jones, leading to Kunst over to McCoy, and now to Baker.
Cole Caruso sees a ball go by him. 1-2 now the count.
Eastern trying to secure this last out in the 3rd inning. Really trying to get back on offense.
And they did just that. Cole Caruso sees an inside strike go right by him for the 3rd out of the inning. Caruso strikes out. Wolverines, though, do score 1 on an error as they lead 9-0 and will head into the top of the 4th. Stay right there here on WCBN Sports.
Transition returns to home action next Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. when they host the Western Michigan Broncos. Admission to this game will be free. For more information, visit goblue.com.
Welcome back here to WCBN Sports as Chase Allen sits back on the mound for his 4th inning of work for the Wolverines. Corey Taylor, the 4 batter, is back up to the plate for the Eagles. Second baseman, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and he swings to the first pitch. Skies at 1, AJ Garcia calls for it in center, and he's under it for out number 1. As if you're watching us on Big Ten Plus, you can probably see the fog that's just completely coming in right now. So far, it's kind of behind us by Carroll Hutchins Field, where the softball team plays, definitely covering the big house to our right, but it appears it's been moving more and more towards the stadium, and I'll be very interested to see if it covers up our site, in which case they would definitely suspend play. First pitch by Allen to the second batter of the inning, Gianni Zuccaro, is a strike. 1 out here, 0-1 count to Zuccaro. Chase Allen finds the outside corner for strike number 2 as well, so quickly ahead 0-2 to the junior left fielder.
Yep, Allen has been doing a wonderful job on the mound today. Unlike Eastern, he stayed on the mound pretty much the entire game, has an ERA, of 8.67.
But definitely lowering that ERA. Came in with the day with a 9.89. It's definitely already lowering it by an entire point. 1-2 now the count. Here's a pitch by Allen, and it's a little high. Ball 2. Wolverines leading 9-0, as we've said multiple times, with 3 hits on the day. Here's a pitch by Allen. And Zaccaro skies this one to the shortstop, Dernetti, who goes back for it, and he makes the play for out number 2.
Eastern still struggling to get one run. Outs are coming very, very quickly for the Eagles. Not really able to get any men on the field in order to really, really keep the momentum going for this team. They seem kind of sluggish, not really with the right mindset. You needed to come in, beat this team.
Logan Hugo, though, takes the first pitch. That's going to be over Dylan Stan's head behind the wall. That's going to be a home run for Eastern Michigan. Logan Hugo taking the first pitch breaking ball from Chase Allen, and he had all of that one as he skied it over Dylan Stan's head in left field over the wall for the first run for Eastern Michigan today as they cut the Wolverine lead to just 8.
The first home run of the game for both teams, actually. Eastern coming in with Hugo. Hugo for the season has actually just one previous home run, so this is adding to his percentages and hopefully alivened the dugout for Eastern.
Pitch by Allen outside. 1-1 the count now to Aiden Arbogast. Arbogast just 0 for 1 on the day with the ground out to the first in the second inning. Sorry, ground out to the pitcher in the second inning. Here's the 1-1. Arbogast gets a base hit, sending it to right field where Steven Arestich is there. And the Eagles have put together a little bit of a 2-out rally so far here in the top of the 4th with a home run and now a single. And Glenn Miller steps back up to the plate.
Yeah, Arbogast joining the starting lineup today with 4 season starts and only 8 appearances.
So Miller sees a curveball bending for strike number 1, has a double in the second inning for his lone plate appearance, increasing his batting average to 194 from 180 that he came into today with. He lines one foul down the third base line out of play. 0-2 the count to him with 2 outs. Runner on first base for the Eagles. Appreciate all of you guys who have joined us here on WCBN Sports. 0-2 pitch. And it's going to be a ground ball to Dernetti, and he misses the ball, goes right under his glove, goes into left field where Stanton is. Arbogast moves from first to third, and Kyle Dernetti, who's been very solid for the Wolverines at shortstop all season, commits an error, just putting his glove a little too high up, and that ball just trickled right under it for the error and keeps the inning alive.
Yeah, we see Eastern waking up just a little bit. Cooper Vance getting ready at bat, average of .235, 4 home runs of the season. It's 5 doubles for this year. We'll see if he can hit one that brings in Arbogast back home.
Vance grounded out in his first plate appearance. Here's the pitch to him. Breaking ball bends in for a strike. Aside from the 1 home run Chase Allen's given up, he has been very solid today. 3 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Allen. And that lines up the middle into center field. That'll bring in a run. A.J. Garcia hits the cutoff man. That'll be an unearned run for Chase Allen given the error. Nonetheless, Eastern Michigan cuts a little bit more into the deficit. And they've scored 2 here in the 4th.
Yep, and just like that, Arbogast comes into home, allowing Eastern to come up a little bit. You know, Michigan is still 7 points ahead, 9-2.
As Drew Jones up to the plate, as you said, 7-run deficit. First pitch inside, ball 1.
Drew Jones averaging 324 today. 1 home run of his career, 4 RBIs. The pitcher as well, for the starting pitcher for today's game, also taken out quite early as
Give a lot of runs. He did.
He did give up a lot of runs.
Pitched a third of an inning and definitely saw his ERA spike a ton. Nonetheless, he's still the DH. Pitch to Jones. Strike number 1, outside corner. So 2-1 is the count to Jones. He's batting .324 in few plate appearances this season for the Eagles, the transfer from Ohio State. 2 runners on, 2 outs for Chase Allen. Here's the pitch, and that gets fouled off out of play into the parking lot. 2-2 now the count. And Allen has given up 2 runs this inning, 1 being unearned, given the Dernetti error with 2 outs a few batters ago. Miller on second, Vance at first. Here's the pitch, and it's high, ball 3. Full count now for Drew Jones. They'll send the runners in motion. Chase Allen doing his best to get out of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch from Allen, and he fouls that one off. Keeping the count alive here. Chase Allen doing everything he can. 54 pitches through 3 2/3 so far. 3-2 pitch from Allen, and it's inside, ball 4. The 2-out rally continues for the Eagles. They've put together 2 runs and bases loaded here on Chase Allen, courtesy of a few hits and an error, and now a walk. So Blake McCray comes up to the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st, got a single in the 3rd. And we're going to get a quick meeting at the mound here as we get some action in the bullpen for the Wolverines.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to give Chase Allen just a little bit of a break. He's been going for 4 straight innings, and we've seen Eastern, as mentioned before, has rotated 4 different pitchers in the span of this game.
The Wolverine pitcher in the bullpen who's warming up very quickly is Sachem Ramos. We'll see if he gets his turn very shortly, but this is Chase Allen's inning to get through. He does also have a 7-run buffer right now, courtesy of 6 in the 1st by the Wolverines, 2 in the 2nd, and 1 in the 3rd. Blake McCray up to the plate. Here's a pitch by Allen. Ball 1. 1-0 pitch now to Blake McCray. And it goes right up the middle, but it's lined to the second baseman, Mac Timbrook, for out number 3. So Allen gives up an earned run and an unearned run there in the 4th inning. Nonetheless, is able to get himself out of it. And we move to the bottom of the 4th as the Wolverines get back up to bat as they lead by 7 runs, 9-2 here on WCBN Sports. welcome you back here to the bottom of the 4th inning. Liam Baker staying on the mound for Eastern Michigan, having a very solid inning in the 3rd in relief. He does, though, have a very high leadoff batting average against percentage of .667. So Mac Timbrook, who is going to lead off for the Wolverines, already 2 for 2 on the day with 2 doubles, the total of 5 RBIs, has an opportunity to add to that as the leadoff. Timbrook has already increased his batting average today from .250 to .265. He's now slugging .408 as well, an increase from .375 coming into the game as well. Here's the first pitch to Timbrook. That's a little high, ball 1. Timbrook has the lefty-righty matchup here. Second pitch to Timbrook, that's way high and inside, ball 2. Wolverines in their blue uniforms, white pants today. Eastern Michigan in their green tops, white pants, so a color clash of sorts. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off, I believe, the catcher. So strike number 1 to Timbrook, 2-1 the count. '18th pitch from Baker. Here's the pitch to Timbrook, and it's grounded to the first baseman for out number 1. That's going to be Arbogast, and Timbrook gets put away for the first time today, grounding out.
That was a quick out for Eastern, or for Michigan.
Kyle Dernetti now steps up to the plate, the shortstop. Has a walk in the first, grounded out to the pitcher in the second. Here's the first pitch to him. It's going to be a ball outside. The senior, as we had said, has started all 28 games for the Wolverines this season, averaging exactly .250. Pitch to him. That's going to be a foul ball. 1-1 the count now to Dernetti. Dernetti had the error last inning that allowed one of Eastern's runs to score, but it has been otherwise very solid defensively this season for the Wolverines. Here's the 1-1. That ball gets spiked. So we see the wind blowing very hard on Ray Fisher Stadium. Still no rain yet, but the fog is definitely moving in. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That pops out of the catcher Johnston's glove. 3-1 now to Dernetti.
Yeah, the big house almost out of sight from Ray Fisher Stadium.
Dernetti has a hitter's count here, 3-1, 1 out, bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch. He grounds one to the third baseman. That's fair. That's going to go underneath the glove of Miller. Dernetti takes a turn at first, goes to second. It's going to be close play at second base, and he slides in there safely. So Kyle Dernetti takes advantage of a very strange hop at third base. Miller misplays it. We'll have to see if they count that as a hit or an error. They're going to say that's going to be a double for Dernetti.
Yeah, Dernetti already has 6 doubles for the season.
So count that as number 7 for him. And again, a very strange play there for Miller at third for the Eagles, thinking he could just back pick that one, sending it to first base. Nonetheless, he was unable to play. It goes right underneath his glove, and that's twice in the same inning, one by each team, that we've seen a mishap on the infield, specifically on the left side of the infield, that has resulted in a base runner. Dernetti now on second base with just 1 out. Brock Lightgeb steps up to the plate, but first the Eastern Michigan manager is going to talk with the umpire. Now the umpire is going to confer with his counterparts. We'll have to get the call of what is actually going on here in just a second. Unclear for now. Lightgeb 0 for 2 on the day, dropping his batting average to just 107. He also has a strikeout as part of that 0 for 2 as well. So trying to maybe notch a base hit and score one of his teammates. But first, we're going to see what the umpires have to say for themselves.
Yeah, having a little bit of difficulty today. Lightgeb, only a freshman, but still trying to make his rounds and appearances in this game.
Lightgeb 091 batting average with runners on base as well. So another notable stat there. So don't really know what they conferred about. Nonetheless, we're back in play here. Lightgeb at the plate. Dernetti at second. Here's the pitch. He skies one. First pitch he sees. Shortstop Taylor runs all the way out towards second baseman Taylor, but McCray is there in right field for the second out of the inning.
Eastern slowly creeping back. Their defense is getting back right on where they should be, continuing to try to kill this deficit. Not many runs being scored in the last few minutes of this game. Michigan kind of being kept to a standstill as compared to their previous 3 innings, slowly trickling down like they did, like they usually do.
Garcia now stands in his 4th plate appearance of the day. Again, it's only the 4th inning, so 4 and 4. He's also reached base every single time. Error on a bunt in the first, a walk in the second, and a walk in the third. Scoring in the first and third as well. As he sees 2 balls quickly go by him. 2-0 the count to Garcia. Dernetti still standing on second base after the double.
Baker's been really keeping Michigan grounded at the moment. You know, they had some trouble really finding a groove.
See, he gets a strike across the plate.
And the freshman is coming in and really, really giving Michigan an issue.
Baker's ERA is now dropped to 1.29. Here's the pitch to Garcia. That's going to be a breaking ball in for a strike. So after being behind 2-0, he's now even the count at 2-2. 2 outs here, bottom of the 4th. Here's the payoff pitch. Garcia fouls that one off, turned on it very early. As you said, Baker, you said it perfectly, that the freshman has definitely come in, especially being the 4th pitcher of the game already, and has been very solid through an inning and 2/3. Here's the pitch to Garcia. That's in the dirt. It's going to be a full count to Garcia now.
I think that's all Eastern needed, was just a little bit of stability and steadiness coming into this game. We'll see if their offense can really match up to their defense at the moment, really continue to get those runs as Michigan is in a standstill.
Here's a 3-2 pitch, and Garcia grounds that one to Taylor at second, and that goes under his glove as well. Dernetti's going to come in to score. Garcia stands at first, and Garcia reaches first base for the 4th time today, twice on an error and twice on walks, and he'll get another RBI as Dernetti scores on the error. Just something going on either with the infield and the bounces or not being able to see with the fog, but we've now seen 3 errors on routine ground balls, twice on Eastern, once on Michigan here in just the 4th inning alone.
You have to think about the thickness of this air too, Jake. Though it's very wet outside, and you wonder if that's taking a toll on these players and on the outfield.
So Garcia, first base once again. Mitch Voigt steps back in. He sees a curveball in there for a strike. Wolverines scored 10 runs and, again, just 4 hits for the day. We have seen 3 Eastern Michigan errors. Here's the pitch to Voigt. Fouls that one off. Along with that, the Wolverines have had 9 walks and 2 hit by pitches, so they've reached first base 11 times without notching a hit. And then if you add the 3 more, it's a total of 14 for Michigan. It's a quick check at first base for Garcia. Garcia has been very jumpy at first as well. He's tried to run to second a few times. Nothing, though, has resulted in a steal, though, as Mitch Voigt just gets every piece of that pitch, and that goes over the left center field wall for a home run. Right as I was talking about A.J. Garcia, Mitch Voigt stands in for the breaking ball, and he adds to the Wolverine total with another home run. And the Wolverines lead 12-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
That puts Mitch Voigt at 5 home runs for the season, following behind that previous home run that we saw earlier from the Eagles.
So Mitch Voigt sat on the breaking ball, and we've seen a few home runs now go over that left center field wall, all based on breaking balls. And the Wolverines now lead by 10 runs before we're through 4. As Steven Harustich, another power hitter for the Wolverines, steps into the plate. 1-0 count to him. This has just been an offensive clinic for the Wolverines today. Second pitch to Harustich is also high, ball 2. Harustich does lead the team in home runs with 9. As you had said, Voigt just hit his 5th home run of the season, which puts him in 2nd place on the team. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Harustich. That's outside, just missing the outside corner. 3-0 now to Harustich. The right fielder is 0 for 2 on the day. Did reach first on a hit by pitch in the first, and he's going to take a 4-pitch walk. So Steven Harustich has been pitched around all game. He'll go to first base freely. And with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, we've seen an error that allowed A.J. Garcia to reach base. Mitch Voigt hammered a homer over the left center field wall, and Steven Harustich took a 4-pitch walk, which now brings up Colin Priest, the freshman first baseman.
That would be his 3rd, actually, walk of the day. Every time we see him on first base, it's because of a walk. So the last time he was on the field, there was a little bit of issue back on the little bit of scoring issue. The refs had to had to take a little bit of time to review the play, putting him over to 3rd and unable to score one more run for Michigan. So we'll see if back on the field he's able to execute and get that last run for the day.
Priest, 3 walks, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the 3rd. He tops one, foul down the first base line. 2-1 count to him. Came in today with a .286 batting average, and it has been the same, as I said, with those 3 walks. But his on-base percentage has skyrocketed. Came in with a .470 on-base percentage. Now it's up to .493. It's a quick check back at first with Harustich. 2-1 count to the freshman. And the Wolverines lead by 10. As I said, if they're through 7 innings, Wolverines still lead by 10 or more. It will be a mercy rule as he sees a ball inside. 3-1 now to Priest. That fog is also really creeping on us. Every time I make note of it, it appears that it's gotten closer.
Our metric is the big house. Really can't see that.
And Priest will go 4 walks through his 4 plate appearances, 1 in every single inning, as the cleanup batter has been doing a great job of getting on base. And now Dylan Stanton will step up to the plate with 2 runners on and 2 outs for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Averaging just above what we saw what he was doing last time he was at bat. Last time he was at bat, he was at 250. Now he's at 259.
So Dylan Stanton, runner on first and second. He swings to the first pitch. That's going to go shallow left field. Vance is under it and makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. Nonetheless, Mitch Voigt blasts a 2-run home run Wolverines score 3 in the bottom of the 4th as we move to the top of the 5th, and Michigan leads 12-2. Stay right there as Chase Allen takes the mound once again for Michigan.
For the Michigan, in the bottom of the 4th inning, 3 runs and 2 hits. There was 1 error, 2 touchdown hits at the end. A 4 innings to play, Michigan 12, Michigan 2.
Just about to get set here for the top of the 5th inning at Ray Fisher Stadium. If you're still with us, you've been witnessing a blowout. Wolverines do lead 12-2. Chase Allen, the starting pitcher for the Wolverines, remains on the mound. Has gotten through some trouble, only giving up 1 earned run, 2 total runs there in the 4th. And Lucas Johnson shows bunt, but he pulls back for the first pitch here on the top of the 5th. That's going to be ball number 1.
There was a little bit discussion before in the last inning of whether Chase Allen was going to be pulled out or not, but seems as if he's starting once again.
Second pitch to him is going to be outside, so ball number 2.
Lucas Johnson coming in today with an average of 275, 3 doubles, and 3 home runs for the season.
Johnson takes a big hack at the next pitch. That's going to go foul and out of play. So 2-1 now to Lucas Johnson. Johnson, the junior catcher, is currently 1 for 2 on the day. He had a single in the 1st, but then he grounded out to a double play in the 3rd to end the inning there. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's going to be way inside. Ball 3 to Johnson. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's down the middle for a strike. Now, obviously, Michigan does lead by 10, but an interesting stat for Eastern Michigan this season. They have actually a 9-0 record after they lead by 6 innings. Conversely, if they trail after 6 innings, they are 2-13. So they have a lot of work to do to retake the lead by the 6th inning for sure, let alone the game. We've seen crazier, though, as Michigan currently leads by 10 runs here in the top of the 5th. 3-2 count now to Johnson. Ramos still getting warm in the Wolverine bullpen. Here's the full count pitch, and Johnson just flies one out to right field. Harustic is there and under it for out number 1.
A nice early out in this inning by Harustic.
Quick stat there for you. That Mitch Voigt home run back in the 4th inning was now charted at 405 feet. So surpassing the 400 mark for Voigt, giving the Wolverines the 10-run lead on the 2-run home run over the left center field wall. Seen a few of those today as Corey Taylor steps in, swings and misses at strike number 1 from Allen. Allen already up to 70 pitches through 4 1/3. Here's the next pitch, and it's going to be high, ball 1 to Taylor. Taylor 0 for 2 on the day. Saw him strike down in the 1st, fly out in the 4th. And the Wolverines have been through the order now almost 4 times. This is just the 3rd time for Eastern. Breaking ball bends in for a strike from Allen. 1-2 is the count now to Corey Taylor. Eastern Michigan does lead Michigan in hits today with 6. Wolverines have 5, but next pitch is in the dirt. But as we were saying, just the amount of 3 errors, 9 walks, 2 hit by pitches amounts to 14 runners reaching first base that did not have to secure a hit in order to do so. 2-2 the count now to Corey Taylor. 1 out here at the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Taylor found that one back, just got it on the inside of his bat. As it hits the stands and actually bounces right to the few fans that are here in Ray Fisher Stadium today. Again, with the rain, a lot of the benches are very wet. There are 2 sections of the stadium that are undercover, and that is where the fans reside right now. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be lined into right center field. That's going to hit the wall. Haresic is there on the warning track. He's going to throw it in, but Corey Taylor has a stand-up double with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. It gives Eastern Michigan just a little bit of life.
Yeah, it seems as Eastern is really trying to break out of that mercy rule play, trying to get within 10 points, as Jake mentioned before.
So 1 out here as the Zuccaro lines that one to center field, but AJ Garcia is there for the out. So 1 pitch, 1 out to Zuccaro. And after giving up the double, Chase Allen quickly now has 2 outs here on the top of the 5th. And Logan Hugo stepping up to the plate. If you remember, Hugo back in the 4th inning ripped a home run. It was a solo shot that scored Eastern Michigan's first run of the game. Before that, he flied out in the 2nd. So now Hugo, with 5 home runs on the season and a .248 average, will step in with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Allen. Big swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball. 0-1 count now to Logan Hugo. Here's the 0-1. Hugo takes a big shot. Dernetti gets down on it, and Hugo quickly outruns the throw. So Dernetti just knocked the ball down in the infield, had to gather it, threw it to first, and Hugo was able to beat out the throw by just a step or 2 to Priest. So we see a runner move to 3rd, Hugo on 1st. That's going to be Taylor on 3rd and Hugo on 1st. And Arbogast steps in, 2 runners on, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning.
Arbogast coming in with a percentage of .421.
And he adds to that one as he gets a pass to shortstop. That's going to score 1. Hugo goes 1st to 3rd. Arbogast goes back to 1st, and he notches an RBI single. So scored a run in the 4th with a single, adds to that with another single here in the 5th, and Eastern Michigan cuts the deficit to 9 on the Arbogast RBI single.
Yeah, that was a great read by Dernetti, who rather than throwing the ball to 3rd, sent it over to 2nd to stop both Hugo and Arbogast from getting additional.
The next pitch gets hit, Glenn Miller, but it's going to be an easy play for Dernetti to Timbrook at 2nd base for the 3rd out of the inning. Chase Allen gives up 1, but that's it. And our score is 12-3 as we move to the bottom of the 5th. Stay right there as you're listening to WCBN Sports. So we get another pitcher here for Eastern Michigan. It's going to be Jack Topolsky, the freshman.
Giving Baker a nice little break. Baker was in for 3 innings, or 2 innings, I believe. He had a little bit of a run there, only allowed Michigan to score about 4 runs, keeping them within the mercy rule.
Yeah, Baker actually did not have any earned runs in those 2 innings pitched. But he did give up 3 walks, and he did give up 3 runs, but all were unearned. So, did give up some runs, but they won't count against the stat sheet. And Topolsky now steps in. The freshman, you're going to give every one of your younger guys an opportunity here. He's only appeared in 2 1/3 inning pitch this season. He has a 15.43 ERA, giving up 6 runs, 4 of which earned. First pitch is high. Mac Timbrook is the batter, 2 for 3 on the day, 5 RBIs on 2 doubles.
The senior coming in with an average of 263.
As he swings at the next pitch, that's going to sky in between 3 Eastern outfielders, and he's going to be caught by the right fielder McCray for out number 1. This ball trickles away from the infield there. So quick work for Topolsky, with the first batter already dropping his ERA to 13.5. As I said, very little action for Topolsky, just 2 1/3, now 2 2/3 innings pitch. He's given up 1 home run. That was in that Moorhead State loss, where he pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, 5 total with 7 hits. Gave up 1 earned run to Southern Indiana in a 1/3 of an inning on February 24th. As we appear to see the scoreboard is a little flawed, so that was actually Cole Caruso who flied out on that last at-bat. Now it's Mac Timbrook's turn.
Topolsky coming in with a high ERA, but like Jake mentioned before, could be a result of his little time in game.
1-1 count now to Timbrook as he sits on a breaking ball, and that's going to get by the shortstop Taylor. So Timbrook, with his 3rd hit of the game, again, it appeared that another play an infielder could have made. Taylor sat on that one. It appeared the line drive died, but tried scooping it, was unable to. And Mac Timbrook is 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and sits on first base with just 1 out. Kyle Dernetti now steps up to the plate. He's 2 for 1 on the day. Had a double in the 4th in which he scored on. As Timbrook runs to second, play at second base, and it gets by the second baseman, Taylor. So Timbrook able to steal. And that's going to be his 6th stolen base of the season. So 6 for 7 now on the season. And again, this fog has really come onto the field here at Ray Fisher Stadium. We're going to continue to play, I guess, until we can't see anymore. But as we keep looking at the big house, it is impossible to see over the right field wall. So we'll have to see how much that plays a factor. Dernetti takes ball 2 inside.
Not to mention that it is starting to become a little bit darker here in Ann Arbor. Sun's going down, fog's coming in. Stadium lights turned down about 5 minutes ago.
It's a nice slider there by Topolsky. Just looked like it was going to hit Dernetti. Curved right in for a strike. 2-1 count now to the shortstop. Get Timbrook standing on second with a single and a steal. CC's the next pitch go way outside. Ball 3. 3-1 to count now to Kyle Dernetti. So the senior has now 7 doubles this season, 2 triples. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 to him. So Dernetti takes his 2nd base on balls today. Add that to a double and a ground out. And the Wolverines have runners on first and second with just 1 out. And Brock Lightgeb, the catcher, steps back up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day. The strikeout, a ground out, and a flyout. But Lightgeb, who's just batting 103 this season, has an opportunity yet again with runners on base and even a runner in scoring position to do some damage. He's 118 this year with runners in scoring position as he swings on a slider, and that's going to get through the middle for a base hit. We're going to see one runner come through. Mac Timbrook slides at home plate, and Brock Lightgeb, who had no RBIs this season he had 3 RBIs this season, notches his 4th RBI this year, and adds the Wolverines' total as Michigan now leads 13-3.
He only had 1 run for the season. That would be his 2nd.
AJ Garcia, the leadoff man, steps back up to the plate. Technically 0 for 2, but has reached first base in all 4 plate appearances, twice on errors, twice on walks, and he scored in 3 of 4 times on base as well. 2 runners on, 1 out. Here's the pitch to him. That slider just misses outside. 2-0 the count to Garcia. Again, Garcia came into the day betting 321, has seen his average now drop to 300, but it's been a very productive 0 for 2. Here's a 2-0 pitch to the center fielder. That's going to be down and away. Ball 3. He's looking at now his 3rd walk of the day. Dernetti at second, Lightgeb at first. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and it's way too high and outside. So Garcia has now seen a plate appearance twice in the 1st, once in the 3rd, once in the 4th, and now once in the 5th. And he has reached first base in every single plate appearance, despite being 0 for 2. So a very strange day for AJ Garcia, but he'll take it. As Mitch Voigt, who's coming off a home run his prior plate appearance, has bases loaded and 1 out. Here's the pitch from Topolsky. That's going to be down. 1-0 the count to Mitch Voigt. Again, Voigt had the 405-foot blast over the left center field wall. And before he sees another pitch, we're going to get a mound visit here and possibly a pitching change. So very strange to see one pitch for a batter and then quickly run it to the mound if it is a pitching change. Might also just be giving the guys in the bullpen some time to warm up, as Eastern Michigan has just not found a single answer today on the mound.
Yeah, really had difficulty keeping their stride today. There was a moment in there when Baker was keeping Michigan at a halt, but as they've kind of tired out Baker and put Topolsky in his place as their 5th pitcher of the game, Michigan continues with bases loaded as Mitch Voigt takes the plate.
Here's the 1-0 now to Mitch Voigt. Topolsky stays in on the mound. That's going to be a breaking ball in for a strike, so good sight to see for Topolsky, who was able to get a strike past the plate. Wolverines 7 hits, 13 runs. Eastern Michigan also committing 3 errors. As that ball bounces away, and that's going to score a run. Dernetti comes into the plate. He scores. Runners move to 2nd and 3rd. So the Wolverines score. Dernetti and Lightgeb and Garcia advance on the wild pitch by Topolsky. So despite the mound visit to no avail, Michigan adds to its total. So 1-1 to Mitch Voigt here. Should be really 2-1 in my opinion. Here's the pitch to Voigt. That's also going to get away, and that's going to score another run. Lightgeb comes in to score. AJ Garcia moves to 3rd, and back-to-back wild pitches scores 2 runs for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, it just seems as if the catcher, number 19, Johnson, is having a little bit of difficulty picking those up in the behind the plate.
Yeah, those are just terrible pitches also by Topolsky. Spiking them way before the plate. nothing you can do if you are the catcher. All you can try to do is just block a 3-1 count out of Voigt, and that's going to be ball 4. So Mitch Voigt takes first base, but in his one at-bat sees 2 wild pitches that scores 2 of his teammates. And Michigan has a 15-3 lead here in the bottom of the 5th with just 1 out. Voigt at first, Garcia at third, and Harustich will come to the plate. Before that, we're going to see another pitching change. Topolsky just in third of an inning and 3 earned runs, as well as 3 walks and 2 hits. So definitely a very sour day for Topolsky, whose ERA has now ballooned to over 23.6 in his very young career.
Yeah, Topolsky was not the answer for Eastern's offense at the moment.
Another pitching change here in Ray Fisher Stadium. We'll give the pitcher a chance to warm up and give you some information on him when we return here on WCBN Sports. Stay right there.
Now pitching for Eastern Michigan, number 43, Matt Sanfilippo.
Hello and welcome back to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Ray Fisher Stadium. We just are looking at the pitcher's change. We have now Matt Sanfilippo coming in for Topolsky, who had a really difficult third of an inning, really spiking them toward the pitcher, not allowing them to really advance into the 6th inning with any movement. We have Sanfilippo with totaling 8 appearances, starting 1 game, and posting a record of 1-0 in 12.2 innings of work from Niagara County.
Yeah, so Sanfilippo, those 8 appearances were last season at his Niagara County Community College. That is where he comes from when he transferred into Eastern Michigan just this season. He's only appeared in 2 innings this season. He has 4 earned runs, so if you do the quick math, that's an 18 ERA. Definitely looking to get some action here, as the junior has played very sparingly this season for Eastern. He again appeared in Moorhead State. Houston Christian as well appears at every pitcher of Eastern's appeared against Moorhead State. Kind of similar situation to what we were seeing today with a 15-3 lead the Wolverines have. And Stephen Harustich steps up to the plate, 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the first pitch. He takes a big hack. That goes foul. Harustich got hit by a pitch in the first and flied out as well in the first. Fielder's choice in the third and walked in the fourth. So once again, a 0 for 2 day, but he did score a run and reach base twice. 1 out here, runners on first and third. Here's the pitch from Sanfilippo. And Harustich fouls that one off, so 0-2 count now to him. Matt Sanfilippo, as well as a 4 whip, and batting average against with runners on is .250, so 1 in every 4 batters. This is 4 walks in his very limited amount of work, and that one is a very wild. Garcia will score easily. Voigt moves to second easily, and that ball that goes way behind the head of Stephen Harustich scores another run for the Wolverines, and we have seen that a ton today. Again, the Wolverines have had scored 16 runs and yet only have 7 hits. And I'll get you the stats in just a second here on the wild pitch mark. So we've seen 5 wild pitches, 2 hit by pitches, and 14 walks by Eastern Michigan pitchers today. It's a pitch by Sanfilippo. That's down. 2-2 the count. Be a little harsh, but it appears that we're at a junior varsity baseball game right now. Playing JV myself, I can attest that we've had a few games like this. Definitely not Division I college. And next pitch is down and low, 3-2 count. As now the rain started to come down, so just raining on a terrible game for Eastern Michigan definitely might be the saving grace, if depending on how you want to look at it. See how long they play in this rain. We saw a rain delay last week as Michigan played Michigan State and got blown out in that loss. There's some unfortunate luck on Tuesdays, it appears. 3-2 count to Harustich. And he takes a big crack at that one, but the wind is going to keep that one in. It'll be played very easily by the left fielder, Zaccaro, and he quickly gets it into the third baseman to prevent Voigt from tagging up. So Harustich flies out, keeps Voigt at bay. We got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Wolverines still lead by 13 runs. And Colin Priest, the freshman, will step back up to the plate. Just a very gross day in Ann Arbor weather-wise.
You really wonder what's taking a turn for this Eastern team, considering they matched up against Michigan back in March and won by 10, actually. And now we see the complete opposite in this game where Michigan is coming in, beating them by 13.
Yeah, I mean, then you saw them play Penn State. They won that series, winning 2 of 3. They, you know, it's definitely been a sight to see for the Wolverines as Priest skies one into the corner of left field. That's going to get down for a hit. So Colin Priest gets in for a double. Voigt comes in to score, and the Wolverines add on to their total as Colin Priest, the freshman, gets a much-needed RBI double here and increases the Wolverines' lead by another run. So now we're going to see a 17-3 ball game. Wolverines now have 8 hits on the day.
Coming close to the 7th inning where the Mercy...
Well, not there yet. we've seen less than 5 innings of play in over 2 hours. So Dylan Stanton now stands in. Playing left field today, the senior 0 for 3 in the day. Sees a curveball bend in for strike number 1. Again, the rain's coming down pretty hard right now. Stan got hit by a pitch in the first, which he scored on. Fly down in the second, struck out in the third, and popped out in the 6th. This next pitch is down in the dirt, 1-1 the count now to Stanton. Priest also has 2 stolen bases on the season, 2 for 2. But I'd really imagine that the Wolverines are not going to be stealing, given that they lead by 14 runs. Here's the 1-1 to Stanton. He turns on that one. That's going to be fouled down the third base line. Just joining us, Wolverines scored 6 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and now 5 so far in the 5th inning to give them their 17-run total. Here's the 1-2. And he lines that one over the shortstop. That's going to score Priest. He comes around third to score. Stanton thinks about going to second for a second, but he retreats to first base, and Dylan Stanton has an RBI single and adds the Wolverines' lead, giving them now a 15-run lead through less than 5 innings of play at Ray Fisher Stadium. And again, just a clinic by the Wolverines offensively. They're sitting on breaking balls. They're turning on fastballs. moving runners on, staying alert on the base path, wild pitches, bounce balls, whatever the case may be. You're seeing the Wolverines very active on the bases as well, and that is why they have scored 18 runs despite only notching 5 hits, which is still a lot through 5 innings, but nonetheless, it has given them a very big lead here in rainy Ann Arbor. So we get our first pinch hitter of the day. Junsung Park comes into the game for Cole Caruso. Park, the freshman from IMG Academy, has started to see some action as of late. Fouls off the first pitch. 0-1 the count now to him with 2 outs. Second ball is down and away. Ball number 1 to him. Park has appeared in 3 games this season, has 4 at-bats. Last Tuesday, had a good showing, getting his first hit as a Wolverine, which was an RBI double against Michigan State. Park swings and misses on the breaking ball, 1-2 to him. So currently he has it's 1 for 4, so a .250 batting average with that 1 RBI double. But he's also had 2 walks, which he walked twice against Michigan State as well. So all of his positive plate appearances came last Tuesday, looking to do something here in the gross rain of Ann Arbor. As the next ball is down and inside, ball number 2 to Park.
Before coming to Michigan, Park came from IMG Academy and was named 2023 top hitter for the Academy, and also earned the Gold Glove, where he slashed a .232, a .425, and a .208 in 2023.
But Park strikes out, so that'll be the last out here of the bottom of the 5th inning. Nonetheless, Wolverines score 6 in the bottom of the 5th as they now take a 15-run lead into the 6th. Stay right there. We'll be back here on WCBN Sports. Welcome back here to WCBN Sports. We're seeing a blowout baseball game, but we're still here in the top of the 6th inning. Wolverines currently leading 18-3. We got our first pitching change for the Wolverines. Sachem Ramos comes into the game for Michigan. We also get a change at third base. We saw Junsung Park coming in for Cole Caruso. Ramos is a freshman this year for the Wolverines, but has actually played in a decent amount of games, appearing in 6 games, pitching 5 1/3 inning. He's given up 6 earned runs to give himself a 10.13 ERA, but again, those games have come against Oregon State. He gave up 3 earned runs without recording an out. Gave up 2 runs against Michigan State last week, in an inning and 2/3. But he actually was scoreless against Maryland most previously this past weekend, pitching a clean inning, walking just 1, but did not give up a single hit as Cooper Vance steps back up to the plate, shows bunt, pulls back though. Ball number 1 to Vance.
Vance is coming in averaging .243.
And Vance adds to that average as he lines a base hit into left field. Dylan Stanton is there and gets into the infield. Nonetheless, Vance, the number 9 hole hitter, gets on base for a leadoff single. And the order will turn back around as Drew Jones steps back up to the plate.
Designated hitter,
Drew Jones, 0 for 2 on the day with a walk in the 4th. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. So now the rain appears to have lightened up all of a sudden. And it appears to be more visible as well. So it's possible the fogginess is at least moved away from Ray Fisher Stadium. We might be able to at least get this game through 7 if Eastern Michigan cannot score 3 runs until then. Here's a pitch by Ramos. That's outside, ball 2. Ramos from Brooklyn, New York, went to Salisbury School. He was his league's all-league first-team utility player last season. Here's the pitch from the righty. That's inside, ball 3. So 3-0 the count now to Jones. And it's ball 4 to Jones, high and outside. So Drew Jones takes his free base on 4 straight pitches. And Eastern Michigan is back in a little bit of business with 2 runners on, no outs here. And Blake McCray stepping back up to the plate. McCray, here's the pitch to him. That's outside, ball 1. Got hit by a pitch in the first. Singled in the 3rd, but could not score and lined out in the 4th. 1-0 count to McCray. Here's a pitch by Ramos, and he finally finds the strike zone. 1-1 to McCray. McCray's batting average now has increased to .355 on the season. He has 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. Here's a pitch to him. He fouls that one back. Now Ramos all of a sudden is ahead, 1-2. Currently here in the top of the 6th inning at Ray Fisher Stadium. Wolverines leading 18-3 against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Definitely a one-sided affair. Here's the 1-2. And it's high. Ball number 2 to McCray. The 2-2 from Ramos. And a swing and a miss. Ramos notches his first strikeout of the afternoon. Sends McCray back to the bench. And we have 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And Noelle, it's been a very exciting time for Michigan sports in general, right? You saw the hockey team be very successful this weekend. Basketball team looks like it's trying to go in a new direction. You know, kind of what have you seen from athletics? And obviously lacrosse is playing out of its mind right now, both men's and women's. What have you seen from Michigan athletics in general?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of lacrosse lately, calling those games, and what we can see is that both the men's and the women's team, although the women's team took the loss against Maryland last week or this weekend at the same time that at the same time Michigan was playing Maryland here at home, they came in. They unfortunately picked up the loss, but conversely, the men's team has picked up a win. They're ranked, I believe, number 12 now nationally, and the women were ranked number 2. So Michigan lacrosse is just a program that just continues to grow. Their program is only about 13 years old, very young program compared to the East Coast, whose programs are over 150 years old. For those schools like Johns Hopkins and Maryland, and actually I believe Penn State as well has a very, very strong team. So Michigan athletics, of course, we have our football team that won the national championship this year. It just kind of has set a wave and set a precedent for the rest of our athletic programs that they just continue to pull in these both amazing players and students, because Michigan does have a very difficult caliber to keep up as students. You know, we would love to bring in transfers, but if they can't make the classes, make the grades, it's hard to bring in students that meet the expectations of our university.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, lacrosse team is playing out of its mind. As I said, the hockey team just defeated Michigan State in the Elite Eight this past weekend, setting themselves to the Frozen Four. We've seen a lot of coverage for the basketball team. Dustin May getting hired as the new head coach. A lot of FAU recruits now in the portal, so we are just going to see what happens with Michigan basketball in the right direction. We have water polo that's also ranked here at Michigan as well. Softball has obviously been fantastic every single season, and now we're seeing Michigan baseball leading by 15 runs on a Tuesday afternoon. So definitely exactly what we want to see as we had a quick break there. Lucas Johnson, the catcher, had swung and threw his bat. So it took him a few minutes to get a new bat, get some more grip on it, and stand back into the plate. So 0-2 count to him.
Johnson coming in with an average of 271, 3 home runs for the season, 14 RBI.
And he swings and misses. So Ramos gets back-to-back strikeouts after giving up back-to-back base runners, and quickly now has 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
Ramos coming in for Chase Allen, who was in the game for about 5 innings. Really put in his time, really kept Eastern from, as seen on the scoreboard, scoring no more than 3 runs in this entire game with a lead of 15.
Just 2 earned runs at that, so keeping his ERA, getting it, consistently lowering it, I should say. So we were talking about the rest of Michigan Athletics. You can get all of Michigan Athletics coverage here on WCBN Sports. Noelle has been leading a lot of our lacrosse coverage as Taylor skies that ball foul behind the first base. And you can catch men's and women's lacrosse on WCBN Sports. We will have Frozen 4 coverage for you all as well in just a week and a half. You can catch that on WCBN Sports. Water polo coverage we have as well. And before we know it, it'll be the fall, and football will be back in session. Soccer will be back in session. Field hockey, volleyball. WCBN Sports has you covered for every Michigan athletic sport, whatever we can possibly do.
Listen.
1-1 to Taylor. He lines that one to Dernetti, and that just gets by him for a base hit. Runner comes around to score. That's Vance. And Eastern Michigan scores a run on a Taylor single. Just these balls are coming off the bat very quickly, and too hot for Dernetti to handle at short. And our score is 18-4.
Ramos has really stepped into the place of Chase Allen for this, giving him a nice break. So we've got 1 more strikeout until the bottom of the 6th inning, putting Michigan back on home plate.
Now pinch hitting for Eastern Michigan, number 25, Kyle Schroeder.
So Kyle Schroeder will now pinch hit for Eastern. Here's the pitch from Ramos, and he swings at the first pitch. That's going to go to center field. Garcia calling for it. He sits under it, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So Ramos gives up 1, but not just 2 strikeouts, and gets himself out of the inning. And the Wolverines will lead 18-4 as we move to the bottom of the 6th. Stay right here on WCBN Sports.
Hey fans, it looks like it's time for today's baseball shuffle. Take a look at the video board and see if you can keep your eyes on the baseball.
Welcome back here at WCBN Sports. Bottom of the 6th. Wolverines lead by 14 runs. San Filippo stays in the game for the Eagles, trying to ride him as long as possible. And Noelle, we were just saying, in the break, these upcoming broadcasts, you're going to be on a broadcast this Saturday, Senior Day, lacrosse. What can we look for that one?
Oh, well, you guys can come and watch our men's lacrosse team. We have some crazy, crazy leading score powerhouses on our men's team. We just had senior Michael Boehm coming into senior day on Saturday, break the school record for points, goals, assists, but it unfortunately wasn't enough to keep Michigan at number 14 ranked. They actually fell to, I believe, 15 against Johns Hopkins this Saturday. Johns Hopkins, like we mentioned before, is just an elite team when it comes to lacrosse, but lacrosse is one of those sports that is still on the rise here in Michigan. They won the Big Ten championship last year and continues to fight against Maryland for it this year. Maryland won it back in 2021 and 2022 and has consecutively won the Big Ten title until Michigan came in and won, I believe, for the second year in a row against Maryland, breaking their actually 10-year win streak. Surprisingly, Maryland is really keeping up, and Michigan has kind of come out of the woodwork and given Maryland a run for their money. So it's going to be a very exciting game we got against Rutgers, another Big Ten matchup.
As we are back here, bottom of the sixth, Jack Council pinch hitting for Mac Timbrook, the freshman, standing up at the plate. Currently a 3-0 count to him, so he's taking a few balls. Council 182 this season, just 2 hits and 11 at-bats, so very limited work. And he sees a strike go by him for a 3-1 count now. The rain has picked back up once again in Ann Arbor. It was very exciting to see with the lacrosse team this weekend, right? They're playing Rutgers, got a lot of really a really good team. Won the Big Ten last year, so kind of just doing everything they can as Council sees another strike go by him. Just, defeating Big Ten teams, showing that they can play against these top teams, as you had said, right, with Maryland and Penn State, and just with all the talent that surrounds the conference, just being able to be ranked number 1 nationally and winning the conference. As Council grounds one to the shortstop. Vance has it and just defeats Council for about a step or 2 for out number 1.
Yeah, I mean, like we look back at like who are the leaders of the lacrosse world in a sense. It's Northwestern, it's Michigan nowadays, it's it's Johns Hopkins, it's Maryland. It's almost as if you have like the disconnect between the Midwest and the East Coast. The East Coast has history with lacrosse, whereas the Midwest is coming in as kind of the new money, if you will, coming in and really beating down on the history that the East Coast has with the sport. When you look at women's lacrosse, Northwestern is actually ranked number 1, and then number 2 would be Maryland. So, and then our team is I believe number 3.
Got another pinch hitter here, Cooper Mullins, another freshman, standing in. He's 2 for 7 this season with 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Sees a strike go by him. 0-1 the count. And the ball just bounces, or I believe actually it hits him. Cooper Mullins turns, but it hits him in the back. So Mullins is going to take a base. The 5'7" freshman from Eugene, Oregon, standing small but very methodical in the batter's box. Able to take first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. And Mullins was first team All-State last season. Player of the Year in his conference, and hit .474 in his senior year as well. So a very highly touted prospect. As Brock Lightgeb stems back in, the freshman catcher who started today in place of Will Rogers, the usually starting catcher. Productive, 1 for 4 day, increases batting average to 133, has a runner on first as well with 1 out here. 0 for 1 the count to him. And that's a breaking ball in there for a strike to Lightgeb. 0-2. 1 out here, bottom of the 6th inning. Wolverines lead by 14 runs. As I said, non-conference games, if you lead by 10 or more after 7, the game should be resulted in a mercy. It's pitch to Lightgeb. That's down in the dirt. Ball number 1 to him. Garcia is on deck, who has reached in all 5 plate appearances to first, despite not notching a single hit. 3 walks, 2 errors. 1-2 to Lightgeb. Here's the pitch. That's outside. Ball 2. Mullins at first. Eastern Michigan has hit 11 for 29 on the day. Wolverines 9 for 27.
Yeah, Lightgeb comes in. He had a batting average of 115. Now is up to 133 with his 1 hit of the game.
Lightgeb fouls that next one back. Count remains 2-2. And if you're just joining us, my name's Jake Singer, alongside with me, Noelle Bencie. Been with us the entire time. You probably heard us say that a few times, but we appreciate all of you listeners sticking with us here for some midweek baseball between the Wolverines and Eastern Michigan. 2-2 to Lightgeb. He hits that to the third baseman. 1 out at second, but he beats the throw at first. So the Eagles get the force with Mullins at second. That's Miller to Taylor. But Lightgeb beats out the throw, and it'll just be a fielder's choice. So 2 outs remain here in the bottom of the 6th. Michigan remains with 1 batter on.
That was almost a clean routine play for Eastern's defense, but Lightgeb was able to save himself at first base, picking up the base.
A.J. Garcia steps back up to the plate, and he's reached first. All 5 plate appearances, swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Reached on an infield error in the first where he bunted on the first pitch he saw, then walked in the first as well when they went through the entire order and came up to the plate again because they scored 6 in the first. Walked in the third and scored. Error in the fourth and he scored, and walked in the fifth and he scored. So 4 runs on the day as he finally swings at a pitch and it skies to center field. Hugo is there, and the side will be retired. Wolverines go scoreless for the first time in this game as we move to the top of the 7th inning. Michigan still leads 18-4, and Eastern Michigan should have last ups here if they cannot score 4 runs or more in the top of the 7th. Stay right there on WCBN Sports. Top of the 7th year, last ups for Eastern Michigan unless they can score 4 runs or more. Brandon Mann is the new pitcher for the Wolverines.
Brandon Mann is a dual sport athlete, actually. He is both on the, obviously, baseball team as well as the football team. He's a sophomore coming in from Franklin, Michigan. He went to Detroit County Day. So he's tailed 1 strikeout in 1.1 scoreless innings in a 7-6 win over Toledo on March 12th and pitched 3 innings, allowing no hits or runs with 1 strikeout against UC Irvine back in March. So he's, as a freshman last year, he appeared in 13 games with 1 start and 17 innings pitched. So here we go, starting again for him. He's got a ERA of 4 on the dot.
Yeah, pretty solid for Brandon Mann. Appeared now a total of 9 innings this season. We had said giving up 4 earned runs, hence why we have the 4 ERA. Most recently, he has not seen the field in a while, though. His last appearance was against San Diego on March 16th, so it has been over 2 weeks since we've seen Brandon Mann. So definitely some nice work that we're trying to expect him to see, but he's quickly behind the count. 2-0. 3-0 now the count, so 3 straight balls to Mann. Wolverines up by 14 runs on 9 hits and a 4-pitch walk to start the inning. So Brandon Mann trying to settle himself down. Again, it's cold, it's wet, it's windy. Definitely not pitcher friendly. And when you're coming in up 14 runs, you know you have that buffer. You probably feel pretty relaxed. And Brandon Mann, you can even see him wiping some rain off his face. It's just not a pleasant day of baseball, to be said. As Arbogast comes back in on the plate, 2 for 3 as he swings and misses at the first pitch he sees from Mann. So first strike Mann throws on this afternoon.
Mann is a defensive back for the Michigan football team. Very, very interesting.
He's not appeared yet for the team, but you're right. It is actually a very interesting position combination as another strike goes by Arbogast. And being a D-back in a pitcher, it is definitely interesting because we saw the starting pitcher Drew Jones for Eastern being a quarterback.
That's actually, McCoy is actually the dual sport athlete.
Really right about that.
On Eastern. He plays actually quarterback and is pitcher for Eastern.
My apologies. Drew Jones was the both pitcher and fielder for Eastern Michigan. So just a dual position player, but definitely for the same sport instead of 2 different sports. As it is spring ball right now for Michigan football. Just spoke to a few players today. Their spring game on April 20th. Team is ready and also looking for a new quarterback as a swing and a miss by Arbogast, and he strikes out. So Brandon Mann, despite the wild pitch that moved the base runner, gets his first strikeout of the half inning. And Eastern Michigan's down to its final 2 outs. Glenn Miller steps back up to the plate.
Yeah, we're going to send off J.J. McCarthy to the NFL draft.
And so him along with 17 other players could be a record if Michigan can get as many players drafted as possible.
That's coming up very soon. We got looking at 3 weeks until we see where all of our beloved seniors and, for our case, J.J. McCarthy, who's a junior, our top players head out with Harbaugh to the NFL draft as Harbaugh also leaves Ann Arbor after his coaching since, I believe, 2015.
Yes. How are you going to be going to the draft?
No, unfortunately, I will not be going to the draft.
That's unfortunate. I'll definitely be there.
I know you will.
To Detroit, Michigan this year. If you did not know, you can get your tickets free on the NFL app. Got mine last week.
I'm going to have to Google that.
If it's free, you got to go.
If it's free.
Oh, you can go with us. Roommates and I will be making a trip out to Detroit. Definitely night 1, maybe 2 and 3 as well as 2 straight balls to Glenn Miller.
You know, I believe I might have an exam the 25th and the 26th, but nothing beats going to the NFL draft in Detroit, right?
The draft is what dates again? All right, we'll go to the 27th.
Perfect.
As Brandon Mann walks Glenn Miller. So, runners on first and second, 1 out here for Eastern. Cooper Vance steps up to the plate. The sophomore shortstop. Before he can do that, Brandon Mann is going to be on a short leash, and the Wolverines will make another pitching change here. So just kind of drawing this possible mercy rule out even longer. So they're going to call to the bullpen, and we will see who it is in just a second, as we will give whomever the pitcher is just some time to warm up. Again, 1 out here, top of the 7th. Runners on first and second base.
Yep, our dual athlete goes back into the dugout.
So it'll be number 26. Believe. That looks right. Is that going to be Colin Priest? It's possible it is. No, sorry, Colin Priest was just standing on the mound for a second. It's not going to be Colin Priest. Disregard that. Still at first base. It's going to be number 47. That's right. It's Jacob Denner, which should be very interesting. Sorry, no. Yes, 41. So he missaw the 1 for the 7. So Charlie Genome is the pitcher for the Wolverines. Sorry for those mistakes right there. Genome, the freshman, will get an opportunity to put this one away. Genome has appeared in a few games this season for the Wolverines. Just 2 of them, to be exact. He's pitched an inning and 2/3, most recently last Tuesday against Michigan State. He's given up 1 earned run, and that was against the Spartans in those 2/3 innings pitched. So he's a 5.4 ERA in just very limited time. Genome will get his second appearance in the same week.
I apologize for my lack of commentary in the last 3 minutes. I've been trying to find my NFL draft tickets.
I got Noelle excited about the NFL draft.
I'm on my way. Car's already full of gas.
And I have my car as well now.
Your 2012 Honda
Odyssey, that is correct. Shout out Mom, driving me this past weekend from Maryland.
Gotta love
getting
her.
me back to campus. Got the car now for the remainder of the school year. I don't know what I was missing, but it's definitely helpful to have a car on campus.
Yeah. Ann Arbor's a lot bigger than it looks.
Unless you were my ride home today. Cooper Vance steps in. Genome. Ball is just inside, ball number 1. Brought the umbrella thinking I could make the trek home, but
Don't worry, Jake. Don't worry.
definitely.
What are friends for?
Exactly. Second pitch is outside from Genome. Ball number 2. Then Wolverines lead 18-4, but Eagles do have runners on first and second base. It's Mullane and Miller. 2-0 pitch to Vance. That's down and low. Ball number 3. It's a tough spot for these pitchers to come into, right? Man, now you got Genome. These guys are coming in a blowout. You're seeing guys in the bullpen who are constantly warming up, so you know your leash is very short. There's a lot of pressure as Genome pitches a strike, especially for freshmen, for sophomores, guys who literally pitched less than 2 innings all season long, or even for their college career. Coming in cold for both teams is definitely a struggle, and you can definitely understand it as Vance sees ball 4 go past him, so he'll sprint to first base, and now the Eagles will have bases loaded with 1 out. And if you're Tracy Smith, you're kind of treating this like a save opportunity, right? Because you don't want this game to go longer. You want to save your arms. You want to get your guys some rest. You've also been blown out by this team previously, and they were mercied actually in that game against Eastern when they lost 14-4. They were down 10 runs through 7 innings. So you're trying to also maybe elicit some payback. But more than anything, a midweek game is always about getting in and getting out. You're not trying to get too many guys in that game. You're trying to save them. These guys have played already 3 games straight this past week against Maryland. They're traveling all the way to Iowa this upcoming weekend for a big conference series. And in general, especially for the Big Ten, conference games matter more. That's why they play such a tough out-of-conference schedule.
Right.
Yes, it's hard to win those games, and the record definitely does not reflect probably what kind of team this one is, but you're trying to win in Big Ten, and those ones are the ones that matter.
Yeah, but Jake, you mentioned how they've been rotating guys throughout this, at least the last 2 innings that we've watched, but we saw we saw Michigan keep in Chase Allen for 4 innings, and he is the backbone, as you will, for the whole pitching team. And he goes on and he plays once again for Iowa this weekend. Do you think that this is just reps that they're getting him through, and then now they're getting their guys in to see if they can execute in the way that they need to in these last couple minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for these younger guys getting in there. Obviously, though, you just want to put them in good situations, and it's a funny thing to think about it, right? Because if you're a pitcher with a 14-run lead, you'd think they would have probably very little pressure on themselves. But the fact that Tracy Smith has been rotating these guys super fast because he's trying to see what he can get from them, you really don't have much time, as we have another pinch hitter now. 2-2 count. It's going to be Jad Deadstrike. What a name that is. 2-2 count, Deadstrike. Or Ostrike, my apologies. That is an O and not a D. The scoreboard is a little deceptive, still with the fog.
Yeah.
3-2 count now to Ostrike.
Big House back in the clear. It was hard to see it for about an hour when the rain was coming down, but
3-2, bases loaded. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled and out of play. So Ostrike stays alive. The junior from Toonball, Texas. Currently in the leadoff spot now for Drew Jones. 3-2 pitch. And it's inside ball 4, and that'll walk in a run. So Eastern Michigan able to notch a run here when they need it badly the most. Cutting the lead to 13 with just 1 out, and that'll be it for Denomi. So as we were saying, this short leash. Michigan really just trying to get this one out. Get it out of the game.
yeah, we've got another pitch and change, as you mentioned, Jake. Coming in, you have 2 outs left for Michigan to really, really cycle through and get their younger guys some experience in these games. You know, like we saw Brendan Mann the last time he showed up in a game was against San Diego, and that was on St. Patty's weekend 2 weeks ago. So, and he was only in, I remember, for that game maybe for about an inning or 2. No, I would say less than an inning. So it's the same kind of event. You know, these guys hope that they can get some reps in and really get, like, to be able to show their potential in these kinds of situations. But now they just announced they got another pitcher on the line.
So Ricky Kidd, the junior, now gets onto the mound. Wolverines just continuously pumping through pitchers in this last half inning. We've already seen 3 now with Mann, Denomi, and Kidd only able to get 1 run. And Denomi walks in Mann's run, so that earned run will go to Brandon Mann. Denomi, though, with 2 walks. So he's responsible for the rest of the base runners. As we're seeing Noelle confirming her NFL draft ticket. So very exciting.
Yes,
We go to the NFL draft now.
I just previously this past weekend went to both the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Watched Purdue face up against on Sunday. Watched Purdue face up against Tennessee. What an alum from Purdue, and watching her alma mater absolutely beat the SEC made me feel great. You know, Zach Edey is absolutely boring to watch. You know, he has 20-plus points, but half of them come from
40,
the free.
Yeah.
Half of them come from the free throw line.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
10
do.
or 12 of which he misses. So it's
Could have even more.
it was quite the game. But first time since 1980 that Purdue is going to the Final Four. So a nice feeling. You know, we won the national championship, and hopefully that they can have a chance in a completely different sport. In a power sport to win the March Madness.
No, it's interesting because, you know, obviously you want to beat these teams that are in your own conference, but once it gets later in the season, when Michigan's out or whoever you're rooting for is out, you just want to root for the conference as McCray lines one to center field. That'll be out, but it'll still tag a run in. So Eastern Michigan still scores. A.J. Garcia makes the play at center. And yet they do score another run, so cutting the lead now to 12. So getting a little interesting here. The 10th run, or cutting it to the 10th run, is sitting on first base. Lucas Johnson, the catcher, is up now. Score is now 18-6. Pitched by Kidd. That's a curveball in there for a strike. Again, the Eastern Michigan Eagles are down to their last out.
Yeah, Michigan's cycling through these pitchers. You really hope that they can keep this 10-point lead in order for them to really keep up the mercy rule and get to go home.
Second pitch outside.
I've been seeing a circle on my NFL Draft 2024 screen for about 3 minutes.
Here's the pitch by Kidd. That's inside. Strike number 2 to Johnson. Sorry, 2-1. My apologies. Pitch by Kidd. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop. Easy play at second for the force out. And that will be your ball game, folks. Wolverines, mercy the Eastern Michigan Eagles. 18-6. Michigan tallies 9 hits for the game. Eastern with 11. But the 3 errors by Eastern Michigan definitely highly contributed to the run total. And the Wolverines will get out of here with a non-conference win. And we'll head to Iowa this weekend for a Big Ten series on the road. That'll do it for Noelle Bencie. My name is Jake Singer. Thank you all for sticking with us through this lackluster affair that we just saw in front of us here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Nonetheless, we still will get out of here in 3 hours, so treat it like a normal baseball game. But for Noelle Bencie, my name is Jake Singer. Have an amazing evening, guys. Good night. Stay dry out there, and go blue.
Go blue.